Hello, Kentucky. Hello, Kentucky. What up? What up? Yeah, my bad, man. You know, I'm old. If anytime anytime I'm ever late, it's for a reason, y'all. All right. I'm not just late just to be late. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have a life, guys. I'm sorry. He said, this dude said, because I'm black. Everyone, as you come in, hit that like button. Women says I'm never on time. That's a lie. That's a lie. But you know, anytime I'm late is for a reason, guys. I don't like to be late. Okay. I was gonna cancel tonight. I went to a nice little get together with a fellow Cuban friend that might be moving to Miami very soon. And yeah, you know, I'm never gonna probably see him again, right? So, you know, I think that was kind of more important, you know. Let me hit up Styles, que lo que, Morena, what up? Blood Moon, what up? Sundown, what up? Everyone. Everyone hit that like button. Let me let what's his name? Styles know I'm live. And yeah, we're gonna commence the show. This is gonna be a very interesting show. You know, we're gonna be speaking on, you know, El Grito de Lares. You know, what is Lares, right? Pretty sure many people know what it is. Recently, hold on real quick. Recently, Macho touched on this subject. And the funny thing is, Styles and I, we were gonna speak on this like a minute ago, but we never did. And once he talked about it, I said, you know what? Once he spoke about it, I said, you know what? It's time for us to touch on it too. On more of an educational level on what really transpired. Because I believe when Macho spoke about it, it was more on, you know, are you Dominican card being revoked or whatnot? So let me let this guy know I'm live. Let me know. Let me hit up Styles. Let me hit up Styles. Hold on real quick. Hold on. And let me do this real quick. What up, Christina? Everyone hit that like button as you come in. Hit that like button as you come in. Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna do. This is what I was gonna do. Oh, fuck! I hope it's not too late.
Ella no quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. Vale sacatazo y pegate la barriga. Y ella no quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. Vale sacatazo y pegate la barriga. Y si te pongo el wiki, tú me lo das wiki. Wiki, si te pongo tu chiva, tú me lo das wiki. Wiki, si te pongo el wiki, tú me lo vas a dar. Y si te pongo tu chiva, tú me lo vas a dar.
Lo que va, que lo que es chula, yo no soy hippie. Vengo con el flow del mismo creepy. Él te da cerveza porque él es trippy. Yo te doy wiki, te saco hasta los pipis. Que ven morena, cógelo easy. todavía hay pile wiki. Oye, bacán, tu tiempo te pasó. ¿Quién te mató? Doble J Flow, Nico, Oro 24 en la casa. El maniático Wiki, si te pongo el wiki, tú me lo vas a dar. Este wiki fue joseado para que tú lo eches para atrás. Te lo compré para que le dé par de patadas. Tú lo que andas buscando que te mande y yo matar. Te quedaste, amarrate, soltate y quemate. Para que tu día baje y mate tu baja. Entonces dime, tú no me lo vas a dar. Soy un flaca tan pelado conmigo, tú te vas a bailar. Mami, wiki, si tú quieres bajar para el salón de la justicia, que aquí lo que te damos es wiki, si te pongo el wiki, tú me lo vas a y si te pongo tu chiva, tú me lo vas a y si te pongo el wiki, tú me lo vas a y si te pongo tu chiva, tú me lo vas a dar. You know que yo sí. Tú eres como ustedes, pile promesa, mucho bla, pero no en la mesa. Mujeres que vencen de mí si le interesa, que por ahí anda el coro de los cerveza. Vendré un trono de cerveza, a los foques, pile cerveza. Dije que son los chicos remesa, pero ninguno te pone un wiki en la mesa. Pero ninguno te pone un wiki en la mesa. L-I-B-O, pero ninguno te pone un wiki. Pásame el wiki, me voy a jugar, porque la menor no quiere sangrar. Si te pongo tu chiva, tú me lo vas a dar. Dime la verdad, te gusta a mí del bla, mami, echa pa' acá. Cero bla bla, yo sé que contigo suena cuchupla. No te ponga a hablar, aprenda a coplar. Si mini kitty, bili, bili, bla. Y digo, si mini kitty, bili, bili, bla. Si mini kitty, bili, bili, bla. Si mini kitty, bili, bili, bla, bla. Sí, mini kitty, bla. Wiki, entonces, wiki, entonces,
Ella no quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. Va a desacatar si pegate la barriga. Y ella no quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva. No quiere cerveza, lo que quiere chiva.
Bitcoin, you're gonna have to wait. What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Bitcoin, you're gonna have to wait until I'm done building with Styles. You're gonna have to wait. Hold on. That was intended for Styles. Yo, press 1 if you could hear me. My guy Styles is in here.
Peace. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. Can y'all hear me? Press 1, guys, if you can hear me, and hit that like button. Okay, everyone to hear me. Make sure if you're in here, guys, hit that like button, y'all. I know the show is starting late. I know. But shit happens. Yeah, bro. I have feedback, bro.
You hear feedback?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
Let me
Oh no, I don't hear nothing. Wait.
You don't hear no more?
Wait. Yeah, I hear a little bit. Yeah, a little feedback.
Hold fast. Let me see if I put my my earset in, if that cancels it out. Hold on. Peace, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it better? Is it the same?
Oh wait, hold on. Were you tapping on purpose or not?
Nah. I mean, I put up the volume, but I ain't do nothing after that.
Okay, now it sounds good now.
It sounds good.
Yeah,
All right, it's peace.
yeah. So what's going on, Styles? What up, man? How you doing?
Chilling, man. Out here working, man.
Oh yeah, I see you. I see you doing with the beats and all that. We're gonna work. We're gonna, I'm gonna get some beats off of you,
Yeah,
man. And you should go to these other spaces, man, too, on YouTube. That's a good way to you promote yourself. You make some money, man, because there's a lot of people that need beats and need music and background,
no doubt.
sounds. So yeah, definitely.
No doubt. No doubt.
Um yeah, I know, guys. Yeah, I'm late. Yeah, so I am black, right? Nah, yo, cause yo, man, something came up, yo. I went and I posted it too. I don't know if y'all seen it. I was eating some good food. I'm watching my weight, so I ain't even drink, yo. I rejected Modelo beer. Can y'all believe it? I rejected beer today because I'm trying to, this weekend I will be drinking because I'm going to a few events, but I'm trying to, decrease the amount of liquor I take. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Word.
trying to get back into my box and get into shape and all that. Um, so everyone, please hit that like button. I see 18 people. I bet see 19 likes. Smoothie O says, "Are you traveling to NYC soon?" I mean, I'm out there every week, but maybe. Uh, am I going to vlog? I mean, if you want me to, I mean, I guess. Um, Smoothie O, man, we should link up, Smoothie O. Oh, that's right. Smoothie O doesn't follow me on Instagram, so she doesn't know that I'll be there. Um, um, Moise, you speaking about me or you speaking about me, Moise? Now I'm a lay this down quick right now, right? Today, anyone that's gonna jump on the panel, we're strictly building. Oh man, he left. I don't know what does it say, Xtina? What does it say, Xtina? Blood Moon. Oh, okay. My bad, Smoothio.
Peace. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good, bro.
All right, peace.
My bad, Smoothio. Don't make me fight you, Smoothio, man. You better cut. You better pop out. You better pop out if you in the city. Listen, tonight we're not gonna speak on the ratchetness that I feel that I'm guilty for starting. It's been a domino effect. Tonight we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna go live and we're gonna be ratchet. But as you have noticed, I've been taking like a slight little like break from YouTube. I ain't really going in like that. I do want to add to my channel a little bit of ratchetness, but also something educational. It has to be an educational night, and then it has to be, a night full of, how can I say this, underground behavior, right? Del bajo mundo. But tonight, this is gonna be educational. We're gonna be speaking on Lares, right? We're gonna be speaking on Lares,
Word.
and first, I'm gonna share my, my knowledge on it, and then I will let Self Styles, Boricua, I will let him, because I know he's more versed in this, topic. So, from my knowledge of what Lattice is, it was about it was a revolution movement, right? El Grito de Lares. Lares is located in the island of Puerto Rico, and the person that you could say that was, how can you say this,
The father of it?
He the pioneer, the main pioneer was Ramon Betances, and he was from Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, and he was the mastermind to this whole movement. And he actually he would go to New York City. That's in New York City was where he and initiated the revolution party of, you know, the committee for the Puerto Rican revolution. He actually started it in New York City. And he was responsible for, you know, unifying Lo Boricua, the Puerto Ricans, not only because of their social class, but also on because of race. There was slavery still at that time, and this is back in the mid 1800s. Because at that time, Puerto Ricans still had to document themselves according to their race. So there was a somewhat of a racial divide, and you know the Grito of Lares that happened, that took place in Puerto Rico, in this, it was like a mountainous rural area. Lares is a town called that, right, where people rebelled, and the Spanish garrisons came and they took prisoners because these people wanted their freedom from Spain, right? I know many people hate the word colonizer, but it is what it is. Puerto Rico was a colony, and therefore the colonizer was Spain. It's just the fact, right? Now, this happened in September 23rd, 1868. And at that time, a lot of Puerto Ricans, they had this like they shared this conscientious of having nationhood. They had their own culture. They had a unique mixture that us Antillians all have, you know, Cubans and Dominicans. And now what's special about this is that when you look at the Lattes flag was molded after the Dominican flag. That's why it looks so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And Betan says he wanted that flag to look similar to the Dominican flag to show solidarity, you know, because not only did, you know, DR help, Dominican Republic help the Puerto Rican you know, struggle, revolution, so did Cuba, and even a Venezuelan,
Mm-hmm.
right? Manuel Rojas, who was a farmer, and he was a farmer, and the way he helped was by military training. He trained you know, the rebels out in Puerto Rico, and he was an immigrant there in Venezuela, in Puerto Rico. Now this man, Dr. Ramon Betances, he was a doctor. He was a doctor. He was a poet, and he was a, you know, a philanthropist.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they try to take this over was by guerrilla warfare. And from what I read was that if they would have, if the whole world, if Puerto Rico would have been all countryside, they would have won. You know, they would have won the war. They would have been successful in their endeavors because all of the countryside they was taking over. But more in the inner cities, they really they couldn't take that part over. And you know, they had the Spanish garrisons. They came and they were taking prisoners. But this was a struggle. The people actually fought, you know, and the plan was for every town. So they had like these little secret societies. You know, there had to be a cult because, you know, if they find out about your plans, guess what happens to you? You get killed or you go to prison. And Betan says now that what a unity comes in. Betan says he helped DR and Haiti from being annexed. He took part in that struggle also. So this goes back to show that once upon a time, you know, contrary to common belief, you know, Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, specifically Cuban, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, they had some type of teamwork. They were working together. I mean, we all Caribbean and speak Spanish. We have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of things in common. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean that's pretty much what I know, and I know about some other woman named that she was a main component in organizing everything. It was Nabrisetti, Maria Nabrisetti, and she was responsible for bringing guns, and she was even captured. She was captured, and she was pregnant. She was actually pregnant while she was captured. So it just goes to show how everyone had they were trying to work in unison to bring down the Spaniard royalty rulership. And
Oligarchy.
yeah,
Hmm.
and so and oh yeah, and this guy Eugenio Maria de Hostos, I thought he was Dominican because when I lived in Dominican Republic, I always heard about him in school, and I know he was a poet, he was a lawyer, philanthropist, he was in the politics, and I always believed that he was Dominican, but actually he's Puerto Rican, but he just died in Dominican Republic because he would, mingle with them and have certain business transactions and political views. So he helped out in a certain way because even though Ramon Betances has certain disagreements politically, when Manuel Rojas, the Venezuelan ally, when he was arrested, Maria de Hostos, when he was in Spain, him being a lawyer and being savvy with the law, he helped Manuel de Rojas be have amnesty, right? Amnesty, that means pardon out of prison, even though they had conflicting thoughts and ideas. He always how can I say this, was for immigration worldwide. So this is the deep and rich history that now that I'm even more interested in getting to know about. And I want Styles now to jump in to see where what it was, maybe some holes, maybe I said something wrong, or maybe he could just add on or build on to what I have to say. And if there's anyone else who wants to jump on and add on, I'm gonna drop the link. And yeah, today I want to have a constructive dialogue. So
Dialogue.
go ahead,
Word.
bro.
Word. Peace. 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 Yo, you covered a lot. You covered a lot. You did the knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I knew somewhat of it, but
Yeah.
then I was like, I knew I was gonna do this live soon. So what
Yeah.
I would do, I would read a little bit, watch videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then today, I read more and I found out even more stuff. You know,
Word. That's dope.
there's,
That's dope.
there's probably
Yeah.
there's a few things I forgot,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Well, first and foremost, Ramon, right? I'm not sure if you covered this, but his parents were actually from Dominican Republic at the time. It was referred to as Hispaniola because Dominican Republic wasn't an actual nation at the time. So, and he is dubbed the father of Puerto Rican nationalism. See, this is why I always say that our history is intertwined, and it's like putting pieces of a puzzle together. You can't mention one without the other. So the very foundation of Puerto Rican nationalism lies within this man who has lineage, a direct lineage. Both his mother and his father was from Hispaniola, which was later became Dominican Republic.
wow, I didn't even know that.
Indeed, indeed. So this is why I always say, you know what I'm saying, it's all one and the same. And of course, even though Cuba and Puerto Rico, our flags are very similar, and we have, they're our sister island, but can't nobody deny that Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are closely related than any other group of Antillians. because of the history, the cultural exchange, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Now the Flag of Lattes, 1868 was the year that they had the rebellion against the Spanish crown, and that's when it became an official Puerto Rican national emblem, or a flag of Puerto Rico. And until this day, it's still considered the independence flag of Puerto Rico. So when you go down there and you have the independentista, or whatever you call them, the people who are for independence,
yeah, like
yeah.
'cause we have like an example, Bitcoin. He doesn't want.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know he doesn't want independence. He wants to stay part of
Commonwealth.
the Commonwealth, part of the U.S. But
Mhm.
many prideful Boricuas, they don't want that. Those are men, men, right? They
Yeah.
want their own. They want their flag. They want their own president. They want their own government. They don't want to be
Mhm.
ruled by anyone.
Well,
So
I understand that sentiment, and to be honest with you, most Puerto Ricans share that sentiment. I'm a minority in advocating for independence for Puerto Rico. I'm even more of a minority advocating for the unification of the Antilles Islands. You know what I'm saying? But that's just simply my position. But that is the sentiment of most Puerto Ricans. You know what I mean? But let me finish building on the flag itself.
oh yeah,
18,
go ahead. My bad.
nah, you good. 1868 was the year that it was, became a Puerto Rican thing. But prior to that, from 1844 to 1849, that was the official flag of the Dominican Republic. So that flag lattice that I fly, that you see, all that predates the official flag you have now. That's why you hear a lot of these people on these panels. They go, "Yo, the original Dominican flag didn't even have that emblem in the middle." They're referring to the flag of lattice and a few other designs that came prior to that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's that history as far as it being a national Dominican emblem, and then you covered a lot as far as the Puerto Rican aspect of it being tied into the rebellion, the independence, and all that. Initially, the mass majority, because this had a lot of big steam, it had a lot of support in the 1800s, because in the mid and late 1800s, because you got to remember at that time frame, Cuba was the Dominican Republic was the only one really making noise. Cuba was still under Spanish rule. Puerto Rico was still under Spanish rule. You know what I'm saying? So Puerto Rico and Cuba were looking at DR like, yo, we want to go fuck with them. We want to join them. And so that was the envision to incorporate all the Spanish speaking Antillean islands under one confederation. See, but people don't understand confederation doesn't necessarily mean it's all one country. A confederate, it's like the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? You have a federation, and then you have a confederation. They're both similar. They both operate in similar spaces, but one is more like the federal government is more powerful. The federation is just, the confederation is just like an alliance. You know what I'm saying? They still under one banner. They still have trade agreements, economic agreements, but they have more sovereignty within their own rights. You know what I'm saying? And the United States operates like that too. That's why if I go to New York, I can't have a gun, but I'm down here in Florida, I can have a pistol all day. You know what
Right,
I'm
right.
saying?
Different rules, regulations. Correct. Yeah.
Exactly, because that's how our country in the United States works. So that was
Right.
the idea that they had in that time frame, and like I said, it had a lot of steam. A minority also wanted to include Haiti and I think Colombia. I don't know how the fuck they justified Colombia, but they wanted Colombia and Haiti to be a part of it. Me personally, I advocate for Haiti, Jamaica, and the Virgin Islands, and whoever the fuck else want to get down. You know what I'm saying? But that's me personally. That's what I advocate for. But you covered a lot. You covered a lot,
Wait,
bro. As
wait,
far as
wait,
the
wait, wait.
history.
Hold on. Nah, Danny, the flag. Come on, man. See, look, he wasn't listening. Answer,
Yeah.
answer that, Styles.
I ain't even. I'm not paying attention to the chats.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, all right. The chat says, "See, I knew y'all Dominicans were copying us, dude. He didn't even
Wait.
listen to
So he said that y'all got it from
that. He's
us.
saying that we got our flag from Puerto Ricans.
Yeah. Nah. That was that the flag of Lotus is originally a Dominican flag from 1844 to 1849. That was their
Right.
national flag.
And then when he
1868 is a few years. You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's like about 20 years later.
Yeah, but Betan says wanted it to emulate the Dominican flag to show solidarity.
Yeah, because like I said,
Because
at that time
they
they
were
were the
all
only
fighting the
ones making
struggle.
noise. Yeah, they were the only
Right.
ones actually getting independence and doing what they were doing, while Cuba and Puerto Rico were still very dominant. You know what I'm saying? Dominated by Spanish rule. So they wanted to follow that trend.
Right. Right. And you know, growing up, it was always like static beef
Puerto
with I
Ricans.
had like with Puerto Ricans. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
always like a thing. But
Mm-hmm.
then the crazy thing is now, like when I grow up, now that I'm older, um it could somewhat be that like it's kind of like a resentment feeling or whatever. But then my boxing coach is Puerto Rican,
Mm-hmm.
right? I love Puerto Rican women, right?
Mm-hmm. And
I mean,
who
and one of my
sparked you? Who
and one
sparked you to fight? Who sparked you to fight?
oh the
Your
person
twin. Your twin. Your twin.
my twin, Tito Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? When I saw him fight, I was like, damn, like yo, this nigga, he like I feel like he looked like me, like he speaks Spanish,
Yeah.
morenito. I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, like yeah, I'm saying so.
Yo, bro,
Tito Trinidad, man.
yo, you a little bit younger than me, but we're not too far off where we could say we in the same generation. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that too, bro. You know, I went through that too. I don't know if I gave you this history, bro. I'm gonna tell you a story, bro. When I was a kid, my little cousin, my big cousin, I asked him, I said, yo, why we don't fuck with Dominicans? And he told me at like, probably like 9, 10 years old. He told me, and yo, I believed this shit till I was like 16 years old. He told me that Dominican Republic put a curse on Puerto Rico that all the hurricanes would hit Puerto Rico before it hit Dominican Republic. Where it's born, son. And like, and as
no lie though, no lie though. But it's like it seems like DR be good when it comes to natural disasters though.
I mean, bro, but I mean, as I got older, I learned, geography and how, what I'm saying, like the how nature operates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like I said, I believe that till I was 16. You know what I'm saying? But as I got older, as I got a knowledge of myself, right? I got knowledge of myself when I was knowledge guard 17. You know what I'm saying? I later understood, like, yo, damn, I was going to war with my own people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I came into that knowledge later on. You know what I'm saying? But as a youth, I went through that same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? Where, and I even asked my uncle when I was in high school, I was like, yo, why you don't like Dominicans? Because at that time, I was already over it. You know what I'm saying? I was already chasing Dominican women. I was already like, these niggas just like us. You know what I'm saying? And what he had told me was that he's like, oh, these motherfuckers come here and they want to own all the bodegas and this, that, doing everything we did. And I looked at him, 17 years, all that. I was probably like 15, 14. I said, nigga, it sound like you hating. It sound like you mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he held that resentment to the day he returned to the essence. So these things are a reality in our community, but I always draw it back to the Willie Lynch papers. Or I bring it back down to the conquer and divide techniques that, imperialism puts on us in order to keep us divided and conquered. So instead of dealing with division, I like to add on, and I like to come to the table with the things that we could all agree on and build upon that instead of going at each other's necks while somebody's laughing to the bank while they take all our resources. You know what I'm saying? Because we come from places that are rich in abundance of resources, yet every single one of us is fucking poor. When we get into these little disputes with one another, as far as Dominican, Puerto Rican, or whatever the fuck, we got, Dominican might say, oh, at least we independent. Like, are you really independent, or are you operating on someone else's?
Yo, the sound, Bitcoin.
What's poppin'?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Peace.
Yo, everyone, I see 27 people, man. Y'all, let me check the like count. I gotta make sure the like count is up. Hold on. I'm checking.
I mean, yo, Styles, what's up, man?
Peace. What's the deal, fam?
You Puerto Rican, you said?
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Y'all hit that like button, man. I only see 12 likes. I don't care about the dislikes, 4 dislikes, whatever. You could dislike it, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm not the type of Puerto Rican that, everybody's like, oh,
hold on real quick. Hold on, Bitcoin. This is why we have
talk to the nigga. You ready to cut me off?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
Right.
Then you have to. I'm speaking right now. I'm trying to get my likes up, and you're interrupting, man. Like, hold on. Y'all hit that like button, man. Come on, man. It's free. Or you can hit the cash app. That's equal. It's equal. It's equal over here.
Not
It's
a cash
equal.
app war.
You can hit the cash app. You know what I'm saying? You got to compete. Or you can hit the like button. It's free. Or dislike. It doesn't matter. It's good for my algorithm regardless. But that's how you contribute to the channel, guys. Now, all right, now Bitcoin. Now you can go. This is part of mannerisms. When conversation,
I'm
you let
glad. I'm
some.
glad you've been learning. I'm glad
No,
you've been
no,
learning
no,
that
no,
the
no,
last
no, no.
last week.
You let someone finish speaking, then you go.
Yeah,
Today,
come
I'm
on,
not
don't you
doing
put
this with
yo
you.
fighter,
If you
fighter, fine, bro.
if you're
Chill.
here to come back with me, I'm just gonna put you in the back. Now go. Now you can go. Go ahead.
All right. Is it all right, King Fighter? Is it okay? Can I speak, King Fighter?
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Call me king. There you go. Now,
King Fighter. Okay.
yeah.
Yo, yo,
Get on your
Styles,
knees when you
fucking,
say it. So
Peace.
now
What's
listen.
the
All
deal?
right, go ahead. Go ahead.
fucking,
Yeah.
like,
What's
yo,
good?
Styles, fucking, I mean, I see when you say the word Puerto Rican, when you say Puerto Ricans, you don't
Uh-huh.
say it as a, like, people would say that, I don't call you out on it, but it's a lot of people like, oh, you live here, so you're really not Puerto Rican. Oh, you didn't live there, so you're not Puerto Rican. I'm not that type. If you're Puerto Rican, you're Puerto Rican to me. I don't give a fuck where you was raised, where you fuck me. If you're Puerto Rican, you are Puerto Rican. That's how I feel. That's my stance. Now, do I want it to be a state? Yes, because at this point, it's like I want more people to have running water, electrical grids. We need to get over that pride, machismo shit. It's enough. Now you talking about the Antilles and all that. Great. I'm sure that's I'm sure that's your stance. You know what I'm saying? Deep down in my heart, somewhere as in a rebellion, Taino, Arawakan Indian, yes, I feel the same sentiment. But as reality is today, which is hard to come by because I'll tell you that I like to go back in the days. I like to rewind a lot. But if we bringing it back to 2021, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I do feel like it's enough already. And I feel like if Dominicans will follow the same suit, they wouldn't have as many problems they fucking have right now, especially with another country right besides their heels. You know what I'm saying? That's how I
Nah,
fucking
nah,
feel.
nah, 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 nah. Leave DR alone. We
Okay,
like
yeah,
our
sure.
independence.
Okay, let me
We,
finish
we
and then
like
you could
we
rebuttal
like we
and all
like
that.
our independence. Okay, nah, we
How
good.
independent are you really when you have another country right beside you? Well, that's another topic. That's a whole nother topic.
We're still
That's a whole
we're
nother
still
topic.
independent. It was still
Right.
independent.
How independent? 50% independent? Like I said, that's a whole nother topic.
No,
Go
no.
ahead.
It's still we're still. Hey, we still have a sense of pride, and
Okay, so what do you mean?
we're not
So what do you mean? What
hoping
do you
for
mean?
America.
We don't have another nationality running around our country trying to debate on the land. You can only go to half of your land, and then it's like you come to a borderline. Puerto Rico, that don't happen. So if you could debate that and tell me
All
why
right.
when, then let me know.
But
You know what
now,
I'm saying?
what do
Straight up.
you wait? You speak
Back to
on Dominican
Lattes. Back to
Republic.
Lattes. So
You
who really
speak.
knows if that
Hold on,
flag
hold
was
on, hold on, hold on,
originally?
hold on. I'm gonna pause you real quick. You're speaking about Dominican Republic as if Dominican Republic isn't one of the biggest islands in the Caribbean. You're making it seem like we don't have enough space. We have a bunch of space. A lot of it is rural. So what are you talking about, man? Know what you're talking about. What's the biggest island in the Caribbean? Isn't it Cuba?
Yeah, Cuba.
Come on, man. Like, come on, man.
Hispaniola second.
Right? Española second. Then who's after that? There's a lot of islands. So
I think Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, right? Yeah. So stop making it seem like, come on, man. Stop that, man.
No, if you really
Right,
want to think about it, I guess Haiti would be third, right? DR would be first, then Haiti would be second, right? Or Cuba would be second. You know what I
I
mean?
think
Let's take
Puerto
all that
Rico.
out of it. Let's take all that out of it. We could talk about that another day. I'm not going to go into that. But as far as Lattice, the flag, how do you really know that flag was really, people talking about colonization and that flag came from colonization. All the flags have the same color, red, white, and blue. It's like, obviously it came from the same motherfuckers. It came,
No,
right?
no. The
You know what I'm saying?
flags,
Sounds like
We
the
brushed on that history.
colors
We
mean
brushed on that
something,
history.
bro.
We brushed on that history. I specifically said it derived from Dominican Republic from 1844 to 1849, and then it came to Puerto Rico in 1868.
so
We're going off of documentations. We're going off of oral traditions. We're going off of a lot of different resources and references in order to come to that conclusion. It's not something that we're romanticizing. Especially me being Puerto Rican, if I got into this whole machismo thing that you're talking about, why would I give credence and credit to a foreign nation? Obviously, I'm not affected by that, though. I'm just calling it for what it is. Now, as far as your point, as far as Puerto Rico being independent versus being a state, now I'll give you this much. If you give me two options and say statehood or what it is now, which is it's not what it is, so I would say statehood. I would agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? But we have three options. So I go with that one. And then I advocate for the unification of the Antilles nations.
Haiti and DR, right? It's like,
I can't hear you.
There's only,
You're choppy right now.
Is
You're
it me or
choppy.
is it him? You
No,
can hear
that's
me
him.
clearly?
That's
You
him.
can
Yeah,
hear
that
me
was him.
clearly?
Yeah, I hear you clearly. That's him. Yo, you know what's funny? He didn't come to add on. He now he came to talk about Haiti. We're not even speaking on Haiti.
Well, I mean, I referenced Haiti. I said that I believe that Haiti should be included in this,
Oh
as
yeah,
well as the
yeah.
Virgin Islands and Jamaica. But that's just me, though. Now, as far as the Antilles Confederation, as it was promoted in the 1860s, it was only for the Spanish-speaking countries. It was a very few minority that wanted to include Haiti and other Antillean islands, but the mass majority and the movement itself was only for the Spanish-speaking islands. Once again, I am not being biased in my convictions, because I'm sitting here advocating for annexation of Haiti and Virgin Islands and other, you know what I'm saying, Antillean Islands. But I do know that that wasn't the mainstream association with this particular ideology. And with that, I say peace.
All right. So Bitcoin, what do you have to add on, build on to the knowledge of the historic event of El Grito de Lares? You have no knowledge of it. There's nothing you could bring to the table.
I mean, no, you guys pretty much read from the book of everything that needs to be fucking said. I mean, at this point, it would just be a
Read from the
hypothesis
book.
or an opinion.
Read from the book.
You guys said a lot. You guys pretty much, basically, in layman's terms, you guys almost said everything. You know what I mean? Like, you guys said a lot. You know, both of you guys.
So what do you have? What do you have to contribute to the dialogue?
I can tell you one thing about the latter thing, about the whole flag thing. I feel like wherever you're getting the information from about the flag and all that, I feel like that's just anecdotal. I feel like it's just basically one guy's book saying that it came from. I'm sure there's plenty of other. I know for a few other options that have been written down in books, especially like the War of Americans.
Let me explain something to you real quick, bro.
The Fight of Flags, the book called Fight of Flags, the book called Fight of Flags that has some of those flags and colors that have been back a few more years that don't even. The flag in Puerto Rico really wasn't even that. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about maybe like 1800s,
you real choppy,
early
bro.
1700s.
I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to walk with you, but you're real choppy. I can't really make out everything you're saying.
Yeah, maybe it's just my internet connection. Maybe it's my internet connection. You know, my bad.
No, you good. I mean, bro, I can tell you this much, bro. As far as me personally, you know, I've been doing massive research since the age of 17, and I'm 33 years old right now. So I don't utilize one reference or one source, and I take nothing on face value. Absolutely nothing on face value. There's when you're engaging in research, the first thing is to cross-reference your resources, I mean, your references. The second thing is the first thing is to try to go into your research trying to disprove what you stand on. Then it's cross-referencing. Yeah. Then it's using other resources in order to putting pieces of the puzzle together. So I can tell you that my conclusions aren't based in one source. I've been dealing with this since I was a youth. I was brought up under this flag. This is what my uncle taught me. He gave me this when I was a child.
Yeah, but you also said something about your uncle when you were talking about bodegas and about how he told you that all Dominicans bought.
Yo, I'm Puerto Rican. Yo, I come from the 90s, bro. My grandmother had 12
I'm
babies.
37. I'm 37 years old, bro. I've been doing it as long as you. What I'm saying is,
but what
you said something.
I got more than one uncle, bro. Come on, son.
No, but the way you said it, like your uncle said something that, but I'm sure there was other examples that he gave you other than just people buying bodegas from Puerto Ricans.
Well, that was the one reference he gave me. Of course, there was other references when I was growing up. I'm sure there was. But all of those, when I came into knowledge of myself, I understood all of those beefs to be artificial. They're to me, we're all one and the same in my eyes. Cubans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, I see us all as the same.
Yo, I was just chilling with a Cuban family, and man, the accent is a little different. We use colloquial, the colloquial word, this different.
Yeah.
But slangs. But we were all getting along, and it was cool, man. It was cool. And
colloquial,
and Ramon, what up? Ramon, yeah, the other tab.
Yeah,
Ramon, okay, you close it. All right. Yeah, and I was chilling with some Cubans, right? And they cool as fuck, man. And matter of fact, he's an OG, a Cuban OG, man. And before he moves to Miami, I'm gonna try to get a couple interviews done with him. Today we spoke real quick, and I did a quick like minute vid. I'm gonna probably post that tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna post it. It was kind of funny, and he's a funny dude, but he's really knowledgeable on history, and he's funny. And we're gonna speak on like topics like Fidel Castro, what it was the difference of living here and versus America, and we're just gonna speak on different things. Speaking on the history of Cuba. So yeah, man, you guys stay tuned for that. But
Yes,
what's up, Ramon? Oh, and it will be in Spanish, guys. I'm sorry, it will be. I will try to translate, with the subtitles, but it will be in Spanish.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but the dude is hilarious. He's a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude, but he's smart. Um, Ramon, what's going on, Ramon?
¿Qué pasó? ¿Dónde está el picapollo? Yo
El
quiero.
picapollo, que lo Kentucky. I didn't do my que lo Kentucky today, but
Yes.
Nado, Ramon. So obviously you must know what Lares is being Boricua.
Yeah, yeah. You were talking about the Lares uprising. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So I mean, of what you heard, is there anything that you could add on that maybe I missed, or some
I will
ideas or
admit,
thoughts?
I will admit, because I was on the phone earlier, I couldn't catch the very beginning of your live stream, but I'm sure that you and Styles, you guys, I'm sure that you were able to cover the majority of it.
Yeah.
I mean, at one time, yes, Ramon Emeterio, he's one of the most celebrated figures in our history. And also, when you mention Eugenio Maria de Hostos, something that I put up on your chat is that if you look it up, he was Puerto Rican and he passed away in the Dominican Republic.
Yep.
And if you look into it, where the Panteón de los Inmortales is located at the Zona Colonial.
I've heard of it.
Okay, there is this building where they have several celebrated figures that are buried in this building, celebrated Dominicans, and Eugenio Maria de Hostos is the only non-Dominican to be buried there. He's Puerto Rican, and because he passed away there, and he also contributed to the education to the education system of the country at that time. But there was a particular reason he asked to be buried in the Dominican Republic, and that was because Puerto Rico is not independent. At that time, when he passed away, he wanted to be buried on Puerto Rico, but he couldn't because it wasn't his wish to be buried in a location that was a colony. Unfortunately, Puerto Rico is still a colony, and that's why Eugenio is still buried in the Dominican Republic. But Dominicans told me, no, he's somebody that we're very fond of. I mean, leave it where he is at.
Yeah.
So,
and it's when I went to school in DR, I remember they always speaking about him, Eugenio Maria de Hostos, and I knew that he wasn't just this political figure. He also was a poet, and a lawyer and all this great stuff.
Yes,
and,
yes, he was a man of many talents.
And I thought he was Dominican.
Yeah,
I always thought he was Dominican, and me, looking up and searching new information on this topic, I was like, oh wow, he was actually Puerto Rican. So that goes to show the interactions between the islands, how frequent it was. And this whole sentiment of beef within us, like within the American community, it goes to actually show that this is like more of a new thing of us dividing each other. It's a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's another
but
thing.
actually, this is something that you guys that are born and raised in the U.S. maybe you can enlighten me about. So because I have heard of the beefing, but where does it come from? If you guys can tell me, because I'm an
It's a,
islander, I don't know anything about it.
it's an American thing. It's an American thing. Everybody who comes here goes through that. It's like
Oh,
you had the Jews. They came here. They was on some shit. They had to go through it, and then the Irish came and they had to go through it. Dominicans started coming heavy in the 80s. We were closely related to them. That's why everywhere you see Puerto Ricans, you see Dominicans. They come with us because those are cousins, and we set up shop. They come and they follow suit. But when you come to America, you got to pay dues. And unfortunately, it's in blood. So when the Italians first came here, everybody shitted on them. When the Irish first came here, everybody shitted on them. Same thing with the Haitians. You ask the Haitians, the people who gave them the most problems was African Americans. That's why you get the Zoe Pound and all this other shit, because people had to establish, certain organizations in order to protect themselves.
And they had
America
the
is a land of blood. We just
and they used to
how
joke
we
on
get down.
Haitians. They used to joke on Haitians saying the HBO.
HBO. I never heard that. What's that mean?
Are we gonna bro? Ain't you from Jersey? Or we gonna build on Mock Hami, bro?
Yeah.
You know Mock Hami, bro? Oh, nigga, that nigga is nasty. We're gonna talk about him. We're gonna talk about him like later on. But
Right.
HBO Haitian Body Order. So
oh,
yeah. So they
ah,
there's an artist, right? And yeah, I know I'm a sellout. He's a Haitian rapper. This dude is a poet, man. This dude is nasty. And since when he used to live, young, they would make fun of him in school because he was Haitian. They would call him, they would say, oh, HBO. And he made one of his greatest albums is HBO. So he kind of was like making fun of himself, but be like, nigga, I'm cocky with it. So he did like that reverse 8 Mile shit,
Yeah.
reverse psychology. So yeah. I mean, like you said, it's all division. It's all that's how it is. And then when you grow up, you realize how silly it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, it's the
uh,
dumbest thing, man.
oh yeah,
yo,
yeah, because it
like
leads to
an
nothing.
example,
It doesn't
like an
make sense.
example. Today, just today, I was polite to a stranger, a guy that probably I look at him like, man, he can't really do nothing for me. I was just being polite because he seemed like a nice, cool older guy. He's from Syria, that's over there by Turkey and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I, we started have
Right.
conversation. He saw me working out, and we was just having a conversation. And then he was like, and then he just put me onto opportunity now. So this might turn this conversation might turn into something.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine if he would have looked at me like, oh, look at him, probably is look at this N word, you know what I'm saying? Or if I would have looked at him and like, oh, look at that Arab, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he tried to
And
behead you in the park. It's fucked up.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So imagine
Yo,
if
Danny, go fucking hit the boiler and shut up.
all right. So imagine if I was not intelligent enough to just have a conversation with someone, maybe that opportunity wouldn't have been granted in my favor. So
Mm-hmm.
hey, I don't know, man. If anyone else wants to be divisive, y'all go ahead, but not me. But go ahead. First, Danny, I'm gonna have you. Oh, matter of fact, that is Danny, because I was
It's good,
gonna
man.
the Superior Latino. What up, Superior Latino?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a stupid thing, man. I never understood that whole Puerto Ricans and Dominican thing, man. Like, I didn't have none of that growing up, so I don't know nothing about it. Like, I've heard about it, but it never registered with me.
Right.
You know, because
And
I
I don't
got
want anyone
cousins
to
that
take
are
it
half
offense.
Dominican too.
Listen. Let me tell you this. Yeah, and facts. You know how many people I know that's half Dominican, half Puerto Rican? I know a lot.
Mm-hmm. Especially up top.
Right. There's a lot of mixed Dominican, Puerto Rican, and sometimes you could even confuse someone for being the other. You could confuse a Dominican sometimes with being Puerto Rican, or sometimes Puerto Rican being Dominican. Is
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, like when
yeah.
I cammed up and you disrespected me and said that I was Dominican fighter, I wasn't feeling
Uh,
it, man.
Yo, but like that's where it's gone to. It's like we don't really bicker back and forth. It's just that one thing. It's like, oh, I thought you was Dominican. Like, nigga, I'm Puerto Rican. Like that's as far as it goes.
Because it just that sense of that
It's
that
the pride.
pride. You're
It's
so
the it's
proud of what.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's all that is. Yeah.
It's that
like there's a
Latin
little
pride.
thing. There's a little thing between and I didn't know. My ex told me there's a thing between Haitians and Jamaicans, and I did like a little corny, but
Yo,
this.
nah, son. Yo, everybody got it in for Haitians, bro. I learned that living down here. St. Lucians, St. Thomas, because they be everywhere. They be everywhere all throughout the Caribbean. Don't nobody like Haitians for some reason. I don't share that sentiment, but I'm talking about St. Lucia especially, and they speak French down there, and they hate them with a passion. It's just because there's a lot of Jamaicans and a lot of Haitians in this country, so that's why they feud. But I'm talking overall, for some reason, don't nobody like Haitians. I love Haitians.
But I think it goes to your earlier
1804,
point.
baby.
I think it goes to
Yeah,
your earlier point, like when you said,
I'm
when
looking
you
at my Puerto Rican friend right now. Oh my God. Oh yeah, when she come back up from Miami, oh yeah, we chilling. Look what she looking like right now.
Nice.
Hold on, let me show y'all what she looking like right now. Hold on, let me take that off. Hold on. Let me take that off. Look what she looking like. Damn. Oh yeah, I'm chill with her when she come back from Miami. She looking real good. Anyways, yeah, go ahead, bro.
yeah, I think it plays back to what he said. It's like, you come here, you got to go through it. Because, when my grandfather got here, he was telling me he had issues with the blacks and the whites when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me there used to be signs in the stores, like in Manhattan and stuff, where it would say no shirt. What was it? No shirt, no shoes, no dogs, no Puerto Ricans. It, not for
Yeah,
this is true.
It's a
And
fact.
you know what I mean? It just, like dude said, everybody ends up getting the shit end of the stick when they first get here as a people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just,
Yep.
you could either deal with it and move on, keep going, bettering yourself, or you could be like these whiny ass liberals and keep complaining over shit that happened decades ago. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on the now and the future.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna steal that line. Yo, y'all can hear me?
You
Yeah,
always
yeah.
stealing
Yeah.
my lines, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that line, man. That shit was funny. It's mean, but it's funny. I got a joke for y'all. Watch. But damn, he just left. Oh, Bitcoin, yo, what's going on, Bitcoin? Now, Danny,
Yeah.
What's
Danny.
good? What happened? What happened? What happened?
Now, Danny. Now, Danny and Ramon. So, do you guys prefer for Puerto Rico to be statehood, or to be, or just remain where they're at now, right? Because they're what, Commonwealth, right? Or
Yeah.
or you prefer independence?
You can go first, Ramon, because you lived out there. You grew up out there, so you have more
Well,
insight
I
on
mean,
that spectrum.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the whole thing about statehood, that's wishful thinking. That is one of the two main political parties that they have been pushing the fantasy of statehood since like 1968 or something like that. They have been doing all types of referendums, which are glorified surveys that are non-binding.
Yep.
And there may have been a result here and there that have favored statehood, but again, because it's non-binding, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And that same party has been going to Washington, kissing ass, asking Congress and kissing ass, and they get told no and no. It's been happening. It's been happening throughout the decades. I don't think about statehood as an option, because the U.S. government has clearly already shown us that they are not for it, that they don't want that. So when it comes to independence, it's too many people are scared on the island about when it comes to independence, because they think there's gonna be another Cuba, or it's gonna be another Haiti if Puerto Rico were to become independent. That's the fear. That's the fear that a lot of people on the island have. and but keeping the colony as it is not an option either, because it is an economic sinking ship. That's the reality. So none of those options are really sustainable. So what is it that I would want as an islander, is to actually, for the island to actually have some level of economic autonomy without interference from the United States, to lift up the Jones Act that has been crippling the economy for the island for 100 years. Starting with that, that's what I would want, for the Jones Act to be done away with, so there could be some economic wiggle room, breathing room for the island, so it can grow and do a little bit better. Also, I will. There needs to have more discipline from the leaders. They're too corruptible. I hate that because there are a lot of intelligent people, educated people on the island, but those that rise to power, to political positions, to power, and all of that many of them are too easily corruptible, and they wanna steal everything that isn't nailed down. Unfortunately, it's a sad reality. No discipline, no integrity, and that is sorely needed from our leaders.
It's a newsflash. That happens everywhere in politics. They're all thieves. It's just the way it goes. Every country, every state, everywhere.
Can I add on real quick before my man gives his build? Yo, yeah, hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Styles, before you go, guys, man, there's 37 people in here. Hit that like button, y'all. Come on, man, y'all slacking. Or hit the Cash App. That's even better. So come on, guys. I want to do this channel. I want to do nice videos like this and educational videos and ratchet sometimes, but I'm not getting any incentive. I'm wasting my time. Come on, man, hit that like button. Show love to the Cash App, PayPal. Come on, stop playing with me, yo. All right, go ahead, bro.
Nah, yo, all right. So I wanted to add on to what he was saying as far as the Jones Act, and I wanted to tie it back into the Antilles Confederation. The Antilles Confederation conglomerate was a direct response to the Jones Act. And this is why I say that, how independent are you guys? Because nobody in Latin America, in my eyes, is truly independent because of that Jones Act. Because when the Jones Act literally states that the United States can do whatever in Latin America because it's their backyard. Puerto Rico is a colony, yes, but Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, all the rest of them are neo-colonies. They're masqueraded.
We just admit it. Puerto Rico just admits it and rolls with it. Everybody else wants to act like there's some free independent thing. They're fucking not. But they could keep on acting like that. But well, they ain't got running water, electricity, and they want to keep on waving around their fucking flag like that's going to help them. Shout out to Blood Moon. You're really doing good in the Washington Heights. And guess what? The apartments you live in are owned by Ashkenazis. Stand up. There you go. Don't let that one go over your head.
Yeah, so it worked. So like I was saying, so that Jones Act is very vital and important. Not only we are the most affected by it because the United States has direct jurisdiction over the whole island of Puerto Rico. We can't make our own laws without Congress's approval. We can't engage in international trade like he was talking about. That's what he wants.
Look at the food. We got to get the food on ships. You know, it costs double or whatever in the supermarkets when people want to go shopping.
There's something called agricultural sovereignty, and Puerto Rico is pushing for that. But see, the way Puerto Rico, all right, here's another thing that I wanted to mention is the simple fact that if you study history, like in today's climate, yes, most Puerto Ricans want to become a state or want to remain the stagnated, colony that it is. But if you ask that question and when it first became in 1919 or whenever they enacted that jurisdiction over us, majority of Puerto Ricans at that time wanted their own citizenships. And Congress said no. 2 months later, they started drafting Puerto Ricans to go to war, World War I, and we've served in every single war since then.
That's another reason why I stated why we have our passports, because we fought in every war. Because people think we got them out of a cereal box. That's one of the main reasons.
You mentioned which country's independent. Actually, Cuba is. They paid the price for it. They got embargoed.
If they were so free, how could they have a military base on Guantanamo Bay but not have a fucking? Come on, bro. You don't know your history, bro.
Hold on, relax. Let me tell you.
He's right. He's
Let
right
me
in his
tell you.
act. He's right in his act.
He paid. They paid the price for their sovereignty. Look how.
There's no sovereignty. They have a military base there.
Let me explain to you, brother. Let me explain to you. They paid the ultimate price to say that to have sovereignty and say that we in Cuba do anything and everything we fucking want. We run everything here, and this is what they did. Because of that, because Cuba said, okay, we're not gonna follow your narrative, we're gonna follow our narrative. They was like, okay, so we're not gonna do any business with you at all because you're not gonna follow what we do.
How could you be a country that has no embargo? How could you be a country that has no embargo, but you have a military base, an American military base in Guantanamo Bay?
The same way that
the United States has 800 bases all around the world. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. But the same way they had Guantanamo Bay, they have Russian missiles in Cuba. That's how independent is.
No, I'm not talking about missiles. I'm talking about a military base on soil that no Americans can go to, but there's a military base there while there's an embargo. You tell me. We own Cuba. We own Cuba just like they own Puerto Rico, just like they own DR. Period.
They do not. No. Cuba, listen. Cuba may have its issues. It may be.
Yo, John, hold on real quick, bro. See, Bitcoin. I interrupt everyone. Shout out to Ramon for that donation. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, brother.
Peace, Ramon. No problem.
I see 41 people in here. Y'all get them likes up, man. I hit that cash app, man. Cause you know what? I'm gonna start valuing my fucking time. I ain't gonna do no 10-hour lives unless niggas is paying for it. You know what I'm saying, or dudes is spewing knowledge, or hitting that like button. Cause shit, I ain't about to be giving my time no more, man. Fuck that. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? If it's fuck me, fuck y'all, man. But yeah, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, bro.
But Cuba is so sovereign and independent that they run in Venezuela right now behind the scenes.
That's full of shit. How do you believe that? How do you even believe that? Cuba's the most fucked up country. Let me tell you something. First of all,
Cuba is on their shit on the low. Cuba got its own military. Cuba got everything they want to have.
Cuba don't even have a fucking car above 1999. They've got fucking cars from the mafia days of Lucky Luciano and fucking Maya Lansky. What are you talking about? Cuba's so fucked up, it's not even funny. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
But listen, can nobody
Bro,
in the world?
You have to be in good economic standing to be running anything. That's a fact.
Listen, can nobody in the world tell Cuba what they can do or cannot do? They pay the price.
You're definitely delusional.
That's sovereignty, because they said, okay, we're not gonna be harassed by the United States to do this, that, or the other. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do, and the only thing the United States could say is, okay, we're not gonna do business with you.
Yo, nobody's arguing.
That was the price. They paid that price.
How could you say they can do whatever they want to do, but there's an American military base there for 20, 30, fucking 40 years? How could you even say that? That's like Iraq. That's like Iraq saying, "Hey, listen, we're going to war with you before we even went there, but these guys have a military base, but you can't fly here. But there's a military base there. Are you fucking kidding me,
bro? There's more to a
nation than just this military. That's a slap in the face.
There's more to a nation. There's more to a nation than just its militancy. You got to take it.
It has nothing to do with that. If you have war with somebody and you can't go there, you shouldn't be having a military base there. Shows you have no pride, no respect, and nothing. You're a bitch. That's what you are.
No, that's how you feel. Like I was saying,
that's how the world feels, buddy. The world.
There's more to a nation than just its militancy. There's economics. There's social structures. There's a lot more that goes into building a nation. Nobody's arguing the economic success of Cuba. We all know where that derives from, which is the embargo, like he was building on. But they are sovereign within their own rights, where they can make their own laws. They can engage in international trade. They can have their own social structure that they best see fit. That's what makes a nation a nation. You're talking about one aspect.
They're not a nation. They're not a nation. Like you said, the Jones Act. They're little pieces of fucking colonial.
It doesn't affect them. It doesn't. What he's saying is right and exact. They paid the price. That's why they're driving cars from 1968. That's the price that they paid.
They don't have Teslas. They don't have houses made out of fucking cardboard, but they have their system and their
And
value
they're
system.
paying the price economically.
But you're putting your value system on them. So to whose standards is what I ask you?
My value system, you can't even
Cuba,
pronounce the word Puerto
listen,
Rican correctly. And I try not to come
Cuba
at you
could
for it,
do
but you don't even say the
now.
fucking word correctly. So before you start talking
To be
about things you know, bro, pronounce the word that you really are, bro, first. That's the first thing I would tell you.
to be
As you
To,
to
speaking.
be
I
The
could have
second
pronounced
of
what
all,
right?
there's not going to be no military base in my country when we go to war with them. They're going to be like, yeah, here's a military base, but we can't come there. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
they're not gonna
Let it be a
war with
Puerto
them.
Rican base in Dominican Republic. See how that goes. Don't think so.
They're not gonna that you mean an American base? They're not going to war with Cuba, but I'm sure they made
Never,
some
bro.
kind of
You
negotiate.
know what I mean?
They made
The rest of
listen.
the
It's
world
called
knows how I mean.
negotiating. It's called negotiating. You know why? When they had the Cuban Missile Crisis with the Russian nuclear bombs in the country, that's called sovereignty. They said, okay, we don't want to get invaded by the U.S., so okay, we'll get rid of them. That's called negotiating, right? So that's what that military base is about. And this military base is all over the world, in Australia,
Is there one
China.
in Korea? Well, how about the ones we had
856.
embargoes with back in the
No,
days?
not in
Exactly.
China
There's one
though.
in
What
South.
Not
military
in
There's
bases
one
do
in
we
China.
South
have in
Korea.
embargoes countries? None.
There's one.
None. So
There's
Taiwan.
one in
another
South
example.
Korea.
Taiwan.
You just
Taiwan's
said
a
it.
part of
There's one
China.
in South Korea.
Taiwan's a part of China. I think we got a base out in
Bro,
Taiwan.
no. Taiwan, we don't have a problem with, bro. North Korea, there's no American military base
No.
sitting here.
Somebody said
Not,
that we
not
don't
in,
have one in China. I said
not
that we
in
in
China,
Taiwan.
not in mainland China per se, but I don't know what's the status with Taiwan, which is it's somewhat is its own republic.
Yeah, we
Because it's the
we
Republic of,
recognize them. We
it's
recognize
the
them as
Republic
their
of
own
China.
entity,
That's different.
but the
That's different. That's not
communists
an enemy of
don't.
state. Cuba
The
was an
fuck is
enemy of
China?
state. They were an enemy.
China wants to take Taiwan. China wants to take Taiwan though. So, United States is interested in defending Taiwan interests.
Yeah, that's World War III right there.
Well,
South
it's
China
in the
Sea.
South China Sea, that area where there are territories that are being disputed, and
Yeah,
of course the
artificial
United
islands.
States want to stick its nose in that shit.
Yeah, and then we need to stop that shit because that's China's region.
Yeah,
They're making artificial. They're making artificial islands. They're pretty much building their own islands, and it's a conflict of international waters and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
those islands started sinking recently.
The
There's
island
some
started
kind of
sinking.
like all
I
the
heard
artificial
something about that.
islands
I heard
because
something
of
about that. Like one of the islands that they built ended up sinking. They just piled on some sand apparently, and it didn't work. I don't know what happened.
Well, that's what happens with most products made in China. Moving on.
Unfortunately, unfortunately.
I mean, listen, I do agree with Bitcoin on the sentiment of like, wanting to have like the running water and like the power grid and the infrastructure on the island. I mean, I was born out here, so my take on it is I would like to see them independent, but people have to understand, like Ramon said, you can go running to the Puerto Rican people every 4 years before an election, a couple months before an election, and start screaming statehood to get everybody all hype, and get their mouths watering, but it doesn't do anything. What people fail to realize is that once that goes into the Congress, and it has to go through the process of the Senate, the Congress, and all the House, and all of that stuff, it's going to get shot down because the debt that Puerto Rico owes, right? They're in such debt. That means that if they become the 51st state, now their debt has to be split 51 ways. The other states are not going to do that.
That's artificial.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because once it gets there, the other states are going to shoot that down. That's number one. Number two,
the most important thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Number two, they do that every 4 years, just to shut just to drum up votes, right? They're pandering basically.
Mm-hmm.
If the people on the island want to be successful, even us that are out here in the States, we have to start buying property, right? And doing our own thing on our property. That's like the only way we're going to move forward. And also it's going to boil down to purging the government on the island. And I'm not saying like on some crazy movie nonsense. I mean, literally, exposing them for what they are to the entire people on the island and having them voted out. Because like
Yeah, that's
Ramon
what
said,
the
it's just a cycle of corruption because they're easily swayed by money.
that's what DR needs and is going through right now. Like
So
That's the only
a
way.
bunch of people going to jail for it. But I think the most important thing for Puerto Rico will be economic freedom, because without that, then the whole
Yes.
it'll just all go to shit.
well, that's where it starts. That's where it
Yeah, but
starts.
that
Yeah.
exactly. So
If we, but
let's
if,
say you get a couple of corrupt people out of power on the island, right?
Mhm.
And now they're able to come to DC and start swaying, getting rid of that Jones Act. And again, everything has to fall into place, right? Things have to align for things like that to happen. So
Mhm.
you need some type of, possibly I would say, like a populist nationalist type president who would understand that and would go to bat for that, or other members of Congress, the House, and all of that that feel that same sentiment, that are like, yeah, let's just get rid of it. So everything has to align. It's
Well, I
not.
mean,
It's not.
that's one way of going about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I share the sentiment of Malcolm X. Those who have the power to give you freedom have the power to take it away. No, there is no such thing as a bloodyless revolution. And let me make this clear, since we on the internets, I'm not advocating for any bloodshed, but I'm simply stating what comes with liberation. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. But if we go that route, they're gonna still have their tentacles in there somehow.
Yeah,
The
there's
whole, the
there's
whole,
there's so many different variables. So let's say that the island goes independent, right? Now it's its own entity. Now, what are they going to do monetarily, right?
Mhm,
What money are they going to use? Now here you have the central banks creeping in onto the island. Oh, well, use our
mhm,
currency, and that drives them
mhm,
further into debt, way more than
Yeah.
what they owe the U.S. So there's so
mhm.
many angles to it that it's not a easy fix at all. It
No,
would it
it's
would be
definitely not easy.
nice
Mhm.
because it also has to do with Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans. We're all proud people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it's like we don't want to be under the thumb of anybody. We don't want anybody's knee on our neck. We want to do our own thing. But
And
again,
you,
all
you
these
you wouldn't
variables
want a
come into
bunch of
play.
Americans moving
But
over there.
that's not what's manifesting in today's time. Every single one of these countries, somebody got their foot on their neck. Excluding. Well, no, we can even say Cuba too, because that embargo hurts them.
Yeah,
Even though they
that
are,
has
even though
been that has been like the biggest economic sanction that we have seen. I mean, because it's been lasting for decades and it has crippled Cuba up. There
You know
wasn't
why?
that much that they got from the Soviets, because Cuba had to align with the Soviets for protection. That's how they got their missiles during
Yeah,
Because
the crisis.
basically.
imagine if
Cubans fucked up
Cuba.
because they had the mafia over there. They had the whole Italians over there. They were doing good. Castro got greedy because he wanted to be fucking, patria, they're fucking my ass. And that's what happened. He fucking thought he was going to run the country, but he didn't. He ran it to the fucking ground. And because they have, they've kept some of their raw culture alive longer than others, doesn't mean they've been doing economically better. Because honestly, they've been doing way worse.
that man's outlived 11 U.S. presidents with trying to assassinate his ass. Went against the whole world. Managed to stand on his own
What
two
does that
feet.
matter?
Die
what
a,
does
a
that have to
natural
do
Yeah,
with
death.
that's
his
sovereignty.
people?
Die a natural
What
death.
does that
That's
have
called
World
to
sovereignty.
do with his
doctors
people?
and gave them.
You're talking about
Bro,
a solo person. What does it
he
have to do with
turned
the millions of
he turned
Cubans?
that
How
country
about all the other
around.
Cubans
He turned
that
that
can't
country.
stand him
That
and hate
country
him?
came from 50% literacy rate to like a 99% literacy rate. I ain't gonna sit here and allow you to speak on a dead man's name like that when that man is a
I don't
patron
know what you're
saint.
talking about. I don't know what you're
You don't know
talking.
what
You go straight to a literacy rate when there's so many other fucking things. They
because
went from a 50%. Really? Show me that. Pull it up right now.
his
Show me
contributions
that.
to Cuba are far greater than worse. Nobody's denying that the man got blood on his hand. Every man in the position got blood on their
Pull
hands.
it up.
How
Don't say
many?
shit like that and not prove it.
What are you talking? Prove what? Prove what? The literacy rate? We could do that. We could do that
Prove
real
what you're
easy.
talking out of your mouth. That's what.
Excuse
Well,
me?
he has to speak out of his mouth. What are you talking, Louis?
Well, I didn't even catch that. What he saying?
Yeah, he said you're talking out of your mouth. Where else is he supposed to talk out? What an idiot! What an
Bro,
That's how
idiot!
it's supposed to
I
be.
brought up literacy rate. I brought up the doctors that he gave around the world. I gave up the sovereignty. There's numerous things. He's talking about one thing, which is the embargo and the fact that they're poor because nobody in the world could trade with them because the big brother won't allow it. The fuck out of here, bro. You the one talking out your neck, bro. Show me your resources.
Bitcoin doesn't come up here to add on. He comes on here
You'll fucking troll that guy.
to destroy. You know, he's not
Well,
even.
he ain't up to par with me. He know he ain't qualified because me and him went back and forth on some biblical shit. So he already know what time it is. So he need to cut that shit the fuck out.
He's an uncultured.
He's an unqualified motherfucker to speak
He's
to me in the tone that he's
unqualified,
speaking.
unqualified, and uncultured.
Well, peace to him either which way. You know what I'm saying? It's entertaining. I'm sure the audience is I'm sure the audience is being entertained. You know, everybody needs a troll, so I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, but I just wanted this live to be a little, you know.
Nah, it's all good. This is fun.
Man.
No, there's nothing wrong with having it more about knowledge. I mean, we don't have to be arguing. I mean, okay, we have to know how to agree to disagree. This whole yelling at each other, it doesn't lead to anything constructive, and that's not what this life is about, right, Fighter? This is about something constructive. This is about
tomorrow we could be ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, Ramon. I feel that sentiment. I feel that. That's peace. That's peace.
Yeah. But definitely they need to start building their own companies on the island. I agree with Puerto Rican Rum. He's making he brings up some good points in the chat. I mean, that's the only way that, you know, you're gonna be able to get some type of leverage.
Well, that's and that goes back to Ramon's sentiment where he says it's a delusion that most Puerto Ricans have that we will become a state. Is because it's too profitable for the empire to incorporate the United States. And as my man, I don't know who was bringing up the points with the other states and the debt and all that into consideration. That's why statehood it would never happen. It would never happen. And what's operating now is obviously not working for us. That's why I come to that conclusion. It's not a pride thing. It's not, you know, it's not my ego. It's none of these things. I keep all that in check. You know what I'm saying? It's a logical conclusion that I feel that I've come to given the circumstances and situation of the fact, dealing with economics, dealing with the fact that our culture has damn near been dismantled on there as far as our way of life. We went from agricultural, from being self-sufficient, being a part of the planet, being in tune with nature. Now we're a bunch of fucking half-breed Americans who worship McDonald's and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been turned on its face. So
what I think could happen if, like, let's say the solution will be if somehow a miracle, like somehow for some reason they decide, oh, let's just forgive the debt of Puerto Rico. We'll just forgive the debt, and Puerto Rico keeps the dollar. Like, there's a lot of countries, foreign countries that use the dollar as their currency.
Honduras,
exactly. Honduras, El Salvador, and a few more.
Panama.
So they keep Panama. They keep it right, and they keep the dollar, right? Let's say somehow they get the debt forgiven, right? And they keep using the dollar, so they just keep the U.S. dollar, and the U.S. dollar keep doing good like it always has. And they obtain some kind of independence, some kind of self-autonomy. Mm-hmm. Then that will work, but it has to be like the debt has to be forgiven for some reason, some way, somehow.
Well, I mean, I agree with that sentiment, and
but you still have ties to the central bank, which you know what I mean.
I was gonna get into that. I personally believe that the debt should be forgiven as a form of reparations, 50 years of protection from the United States. These are the two things that I say that should come along with it. And as far as tying ourselves to the dollar, I think that's like jumping into a sinking ship. Because the only thing giving the dollar the power that it has today is the petrodollar. And if you pay attention,
and the military,
and the military, of course, that's what backs that. Yeah, that's what right, exactly. Yeah, but as far as economically speaking, what backs it, because it's not backed by gold anymore. They stopped doing that after the first Great Depression in the 20s or in the 30s. Pardon self, in the 30s. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of the gold standard. So the fact that the only thing giving the United States value is petrodollar, and everybody is already gearing up to stop doing that, it'll be like joining a sinking ship. Eventually, empires rise and they fall. Capitalistic economies are like bubbles. They're gonna bust. The numbers don't lie. History shows and proves that.
It repeats itself.
Yeah, exactly. So no empire has ever been forever running. They all fall. And the fact, I mean, yeah, we're still a young country. We only get 200 and something years, but things in modern day run so rapid, so fast with technology that we're going down a spiral economically. Like I said, the only thing holding us down is that petrodollar. The moment that the world stops trading oil in the dollar, we're going to suffer from what they call hyperinflation. Meaning when you go to work, your check is still $1,000, but when you go to the store, the loaf of bread is $500.
Well, we're already there. We're already there.
We have a lot of inflation, but not hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is what happened in Zimbabwe, what happened in Greece in 2016. That's why I advocate for cryptocurrencies to preserve your purchasing power, because the dollar is eventually going to fall. I can't tell you exactly when, because there are a conglomerate of people around the world that have the interest in keeping that shit going. But as I study more and more current events, I see how people are moving, and most of the world is like, nah, we ain't down with this shit no more.
No,
because
you're
it's
right,
a house of cards.
Yeah. Recently,
Ramon, this
Cuba
comment
said.
is not to you, Ramon.
Recently,
Ramon.
Yeah.
Recently,
Ramon, this
Cuba
comment is not to
they
you.
stopped
But,
like literally
it's
this
easy
week.
to look smart in a room full of fucking dummies. That's one. And to talk about that, I'm not qualified to talk, bro. Let me tell you something. You're talking about a stupid ass Lares that's fucking not even 100 years old, bro. You're not qualified to talk to me. Maybe
He's choppy, yo.
Yo, first of all, wait. Let me say something, Styles.
Go ahead.
First of all, how you gonna just insult me? I'm a dummy, but you on a dummy's platform. So what does that make you?
Right.
Number two, you gotta get your connection right, man. You got dummy internet Wi-Fi connection, bro. Right? And number three, dude, ain't you a Hebrew Israelite, man? Like,
no,
how you a Hebrew Israelite? He a Hebrew Israelite.
Oh, no
yes,
wonder,
he is.
No
yes, man. He's
it's all
suffering
making sense to me now.
Yo, I see 35 people. Yo, I want 36 likes, man. Hit them hit that cash app, man. Stop playing with me. Yeah, yo, fighter, why you begging for cash app, nigga? This is my time, nigga. Dinero es tiempo. El tiempo es dinero. Money is time. Time is money. If I could say it in Russian, I'd say it in Russian.
There's this dude called Tommy Sotomayor. He made like 5 stacks of video.
He made 5 stacks. Yeah, yo, you gotta fix your sound quality, brother.
Yo, bro, I want to give you my ear, bro, but you choppy and you're not.
Yo, yeah, he's sonically he's challenged.
But not only that, but he's not giving anything constructive to the conversation. Literally, everything that's coming out of his mouth is an insult and derailing from the topic. So I don't understand how I'm not qualified to speak to the man when he's not even speaking to the issues at hand.
Yep.
So all I'm asking is to show and prove, bro. Show and prove what you're saying, because I've done it at least 5-6 times already.
Yeah, Hebrew Israelite. Can you prove Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are tribe of Levi and whatnot?
I have been hearing that for years. That whole tribal thing when it comes to the Caribbean islands, I have been hearing for years that Puerto Ricans are the tribe of Ephraim. I mean, that's that Hebrew Israelite stuff. Like, my understanding is that the Bible doesn't even say anything about no Hebrew Israelites. So it's like a recent thing, a recent religion. Anyway, it's still Bible based.
It's just a reason for them to dress up like Power Rangers on a Saturday and yell at you in front of the train station in Manhattan. That's all it is.
Oh, he's from New York. He got to be from New York.
That's all that shit is.
Yeah, man.
And yell racist chants at people and shit.
Looking like genies. Yo, they be having people
you said genies?
Yeah, genies, like Aladdin and shit. Yo, they be having people kneel down, like like white people kneel down on their knees
and kiss their feet and all that nonsense, man.
Scream Bible verses.
What is that supposed to solve? What is that supposed to solve? What problem? Like
they just go out there and they'll like intimidate anyone who's not religious, who's not like a Christian or whatever, and then and basically. The Bible has a lot of stories, sayings, and all of that. And if you combat them with something, they've memorized the book so well that they'll call out whatever chapter and verse to combat your point. It's
literally they literally yell it out.
It's annoying. It's annoying. Like, basically, smoke a joint and then listen to them yell at people, and you'll fucking die laughing. That's what I used to do when I was younger. I would roll up, smoke. Then I'll go listen to the Hebrew Israelites yell at white people and Jews.
The one thing I can give them though, the one thing that I can give them is that they're very good in the Bible. Like they knowledge it. Like we like 5% is knowledge 120. Like they could vote. They could like recite scriptures verbatim, and I'll give them that. But that's the only thing that I give them, dudes.
If they could apply that same energy to other things, man, they'll solve a lot of issues in the hood.
Something.
But it's like. It's like when a
Self
white
deconstruction
person walks
type.
by and just looks at their little poster boards and they scream, "You're the devil." It's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Kind
the
of
opposite
true.
of what the book says. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just accuse someone of being the devil or a devil. Like it just, whatever. To each his own.
Yeah, indeed. I would like to speak to this sentiment though. My man said that it's easy to seem intelligent in a room full of idiots. I wanna make it very clear, yo. My name is Bokim Born of Law. That's my righteous name. I'm not here to ego trip or to assert, what I'm saying, any worldview on anybody. I'm simply here to add on and engage in constructive dialogue. So
Oh,
the
I
fact
I
that
like.
people are, I understand what this space entails. You know what I'm saying? The battle of the wits, the egos, and things of that nature. I'm not here for that. Obviously, my man's projecting something that's internal with him, because he's always being very combative and offending people, and things of that nature. I haven't offended anybody, so I just want to make
I
that
like
clear.
to.
What I'm here for.
Yeah. I like to add to that. I'm a political science major, and this is kind of the shit I know about. So I'm not a dummy. But just to say that.
Word. It's not a competition. I'm not in competition with anybody. If somebody knows greater than I and can teach me something, I'm the one walking away with the gems. This is not about pride and ego. The one who's being taught is the beneficiary of that dialogue. They're the one walking away with the world of information that they could take on for the rest of their life. Those who come here and poke their chest out like, oh, I'm all high and mighty, I know all things, they ego tripping. And ain't nothing wrong with the ego, ain't nothing wrong with pride. We all got it, but we got to keep that shit in check, because that could be the death of us.
It's not like we're gonna win a prize or some shit doing this.
Exactly, yo.
So
Exactly.
can you hear me now? So can you hear me now, Mr. Styles?
Indeed, I can.
So what is this? What was your name again that you told the crowd? What are you, Islamic, Muslim? Is that what you are?
My righteous name is Bokim Born of Law. I come in the name of Bokim Born of Law.
So what is that? What cult do you follow? Islam?
I don't follow no cult, bro. I just told you that was my righteous name. That's my name. That's my name. That's my name. That's it. That's my name.
But what? First of all, as you can ask, people will tell me that I'm Ashkenazi in the comments and I'm white. So how can I be a Hebrew Israelite? First of all, you don't need to know that your background comes from a Hebrew of Aramaic descent. You don't have to be an Israelite. You don't have to be one of these crazy fucking African motherfuckers
I never
screaming out
called
they hate
you a
white
Hebrew
people, because that's
Israelite.
not me.
I never called you Hebrew.
I know, but that's what they get fucked up with. Now, the guy Ramon said that basically that they're not in the Bible. Yes, it is, because Jacob's sons are Meneses, Ephraim, and Semenim. Those are the three sons. That is in the Bible. And if you read the Bible, you would know that.
Pana.
So
it is in the Bible. This is what I'm talking about. You come and you derail the conversation. Everything
I'm
you're
not
saying,
derailing it. I'm actually derailing it back to the real conversation, not some bullshit ass conversation.
So how does your
a fucking
belief in
made
the
up
scriptures?
flag? You know
How
what I'm
does your
saying?
belief in the
Because it's all
scriptures
fake bullshit.
apply to this?
Everything applies
How
to
is
it.
how
Even
is
your
it fake?
fake fucking bullshit ass name.
Wait, hold on. It's fake to you, but people die behind that.
Indeed, that's a good point.
People die behind everything, Mr. Fighter. People die behind your fake fucking
Mr. Bitcoin. People die because they wanted their independence. They wanted their independence from Spain, Mr. Bitcoin. They wanted their independence. There was still slavery. Okay, and this guy Betances was
Haiti, and independence from Haiti.
Huh?
And independence from Haiti. I'm Dominican, so.
Oh, yeah, but I'm speaking more on the latter situation. Yeah, so Betances also supported and helped out with the movement of Haiti and DR not being annexed. Because not only did he stay in DR, he also stayed in Haiti too.
Well, you're good, Styles, I guess, if you stay on one topic. But once you get off one topic with me, you're going to get eaten like a fucking cereal on a Sunday afternoon. So if you want to skip on one topic, you're going to do fine.
Bitcoin, I've never heard you.
You better ask around. You better ask around on YouTube streets, Mr. Styles.
They go that ego.
Elijah one.
They go that ego.
One.
I don't even
know it's because I know who I am. I don't need a name.
Hold on. Bitcoin,
I know who I am. You are
Okay,
a fraud. You're a
Bitcoin.
fraud. You don't even say Puerto Rican's the
Bitcoin.
right way. You don't even say Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
I
like, he
think he's
doesn't
trolling.
stop. He doesn't.
I don't know what grown ass
I
man
don't.
cares about
I
race.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
You're a
know what's
funny
wrong with
guy.
that dude.
You're a funny
Yeah, everyone
guy.
hit that like button, man. Stop playing, man. I know this is Bitcoin. Isn't it embarrassing how he acts?
It's funny.
See, guys, look. This is the type of Puerto Ricans I don't like.
I don't know what's his deal.
All right,
Somebody
you're
can
right.
tell me what's his deal.
Yo, listen. These are the Puerto Ricans that I grew up with that I didn't like. It's him. The people like him. People like him.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? And then online I meet nice Puerto Rican, people, or when I used to go to church back in the day, they were cool, or you know what I'm saying, or the boxing gym with a lot of my friends, but then it's like dudes like him that it makes you hate a whole ethnicity because it's just the way.
Yeah, but you got that in all ciphers, bro. You got that. You got guys like that who are Dominican, bro.
Right? Yeah. But that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
That people like that make you want to hate a whole ethnicity.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right. Yeah, I see what
you know
you're
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I could come to you and you hate and I rep the all heavy, and I come to you and then I throw you off. I mean, fuck Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's crazy.
That's some deep hate right there, man.
Well,
Yeah,
people
man.
falling victim to tribalism.
You're
That's what
right.
that is.
Yo,
Falling victim to tribalism.
you hate that dude so much. You hate everything he comes from and represents. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man.
It is crazy because the fact of the matter is it's the easiest thing to do to see ourselves in each other. And the fact that we're going at each other's necks it's ridiculous because I can see myself in a Dominican more than I can see myself in a Chinaman, but a lot faster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, bro.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, of course, I see what you're saying. But man, damn, Bitcoin, dude.
Shout out to Bitcoin. He the troll.
Nah. Listen, bro. Take your medication, brother. You take your medication, and you can hop back on. Once you took your medication, hit the back chat, and I'll allow you back on, brother. Now the 25 people, guys, hit them like buttons. Let me see. Let me check them likes, man. This is how you help the algorithm of the show, guys. Up until like Monday, I'm gonna be going ham on YouTube. I'm gonna be uploading videos. But because I just got to take a break, man. Because this shit, is exhausting. I do have a real life. I have a personal life, So yeah, but for the next, what's today, Wednesday? For the next 4 or 5 days, I will be, going in. Oh shit, matter of fact, y'all can chop it up. I'm allow Bitcoin in. Bitcoin, be easy.
yourself.
All right.
Peace, Bitcoin. Peace.
Yo, but it's peace, bro. Listen to me, man. Like I said, this is
Peace,
I just do this. What I do, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do.
With troll? That what you do?
Nah,
troll,
bro. To you, it's trolling. To me, it's a different thing. You know what I'm saying?
What you call it? What you call it?
Saying trolling is life.
To me, this is dialogue, man. This is dialogue.
Oh, all right. It is a dialogue. It's just not a healthy dialogue.
Yeah, it's not. Sometimes I think you're a little.
That's depending on the person who's digesting it. You're digesting it as a troll. I'm digesting it as a fucking different.
Bro, like all jokes aside, bro. Yo, hold on. Bitcoin. All jokes aside, Bitcoin. You're not remedial, right?
No, come on, bro. Yeah, don't hate all Puerto Ricans because of me, bro. That wouldn't be right, man.
I mean, I'm sorry, man, but you make me want to because damn, bro, like, come on, man. Why can't you be like Styles or Ramon or
maybe
like my
Styles
brother
not
Danny?
even really Puerto Rican. First of all, maybe he's not even really Puerto Rican. I'm questioning if he's Puerto Rican. This nigga says Puerto Rican, like Puerto Rican. Motherfucker, I'm better than him, and I never heard somebody say it like that.
Nah, you're right, bro. I'm Haitian, bro. I'm faking the funk, son.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm Haitian. I'm 100% Haitian. 1804, baby. That's me.
Oh, I knew it. We got an infiltrator on the panel.
I mean, Danny says he's Puerto Rican. Danny says he's Puerto Rican. I believe him. I believe him. He's a super. He's a super.
I'm
he lives in the boiler room. That's official.
I'm the combination of all human families, like the 99 Summer Jam. I'm everything. I'm everything under the sun. You know what I mean? You can call me whatever you want, son. You call me a Chinaman. That's me. I built the Great Wall of China. My peoples did that. I did all that. Whatever works for you, bro. It don't bother me that you say I'm not Puerto Rican, bro. You know, living this life my whole life, son. You know how many times I heard that from Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans. I'll give you another one. I barely speak Spanish. Me hablo un poquito español. Hey, go some
You know what?
ammunition
Listen,
for
that
you.
doesn't make you. You know what? I'm
Go
just fucking
some
with you.
ammunition
That
for
doesn't make you. That doesn't make you
Well, you
Didn't hear
pulling
me?
my body card. You pulling my body card. I'm
No,
just
no,
giving you ammunition.
I'm really not. But you said that kind of like a little whatever. I knew already you was, but like compared to other people in the chat, they'd be like, "Oh, you don't speak Spanish. You're not Puerto Rican or this and that." First of all, I speak Spanish.
Because
I've
I'm
been to
from
my country.
Jersey.
I've been to my country all
I'm
the
from
fucking time.
Jersey.
I'm white. I'm whiter
I
than
think you
I'm
got
whiter
it.
than
I'm
the
from
average Puerto
Jersey,
Rican.
son. Of
I
course,
think you
my
got it.
Spanish is
Average
gonna
Puerto
sound
Rican.
rough.
I got good hair. I got light eyes. I don't give a fuck. But that doesn't mean, or because you don't speak Spanish does not mean you're not Puerto Rican. Does not mean
Well,
you're Dominican. That's the problem with Puerto Rican Dominicans. They want to tell you who you are and what you are because you don't live in the motherland. Well, that's not true.
but
That's not true.
you the one that said that I didn't say Puerto Rico right or
Right,
Puerto
right,
Rico
right,
right
right. Well,
or
I said that.
whatever.
I said that to fuck with you, but see, I'm retracting it a little bit. You know, what I'm saying? As an example, I said that,
Bro,
but
you
as
said, well, hold on.
I'm,
You said I gotta put. You said good hair. You got. I mean, what do you consider good hair?
Yeah,
I
I
don't give a
consider
fuck what you can take it how
kinky
you
hair
want
good
it.
hair.
You can take it how you
That's
want it.
racist.
No.
You can
But
take it how you
what you
fucking
consider good hair though?
yo, listen. If the comb fits, wear it. Put it that way. How about that one? Don't let that go
Yeah,
over your
but
head. Don't look. Don't
the
let that
comb.
go over
That's a
your
new
head.
one. I never heard that
Don't
one.
let that go over your head.
Yo, I kind of like Bitcoin. That's funny.
Yo, yeah, but you good hair. Like I ain't get the good hair joint.
If the comb goes through your hair and it don't stop, it's good hair. Put it that way.
Oh,
That's fucked up.
Damn, man, that's messed
Damn.
up.
Damn, son.
Damn.
Okay.
Oh,
So all you people
Shots fired.
with your face
That's
just
what I wanted.
all you
That's the
people with
answer
your
I
face just
wanted.
sprinkled up, your face just went like your face just got all screw faced. You know what time it is, all right? You know what time it is.
Yeah,
well,
but
you know what
it's
kind
cool.
of
Yo,
Puerto
listen,
Rican he is.
listen. Hold on. Bitcoin. That white girl you had over there drugged up. I have her braiding my hair, bro. So it's all good. It ain't nothing.
Listen, you could never have her braid in your hair, bro.
Fighter, and
She
that's
never
why
gonna
your hair
cross the
looks
Nassau
like
County
that,
line. She
okay?
never gonna cross the Nassau County line.
Fighter, and that's why your hair looks like that.
Yeah. Damn. Yo, if I'm depositing, no, forget it. Right, whatever. Man.
Yo, so Bitcoin. Tell me what you know about Bitcoin, like up to date, like real time information.
Real time, 39,000 and change. That's what I know about Bitcoin. You know,
That's where it's at
Yeah,
right now.
but what's the future looking like for Bitcoin? And Ethereum and all that
it's going
shit.
good. What are you talking about? That shit dropped down to 31,000 a couple of days ago. Everybody was getting scared. I did it. I bought more, and look what happened. Now it's at 39,000. Can't get scared.
Oh, he is intelligent.
Hey,
Highly
shout out
intelligent.
to
You know
hey,
what?
Bitcoin. Hold on. Shout out to Morena for that donation. Thank you for that 20 piece. Wow.
Peace.
I'm
You know
saying?
what I think? You know what I think is gonna happen to Bitcoin? That soon they're gonna come out with supercomputers, quantum computers, and that shit is gonna crack the code because those computers is on a whole nother level. I don't know too much about it, but it's
But what you
like
mean?
something
What do you mean crack the code? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
They have those already.
because the way I'm not an expert on Bitcoin, but the way it works is that
Blockchain.
yeah, exactly, blockchain. So if you can crack the blockchain code in the transactions, then then it's
Well, how are you gonna
It
break?
don't work like that, bro.
They
It
don't work like that because that's how you don't know what you're
because
fucking
it's
talking about.
no, hold on. It's a mathematical equation, right? So these quantum computers is on a whole nother level. It's like
But
but bro, it's not
it's
like
like
doesn't the
1,000. Hold on.
blockchain?
It's like 1,000, 2,000 computers. These computers is like a whole nother thing. So
indeed.
it's a mathematical equation that keeps the security of it without it being compromised. So, but when you have these computers that are so advanced that can do these mathematical equations without being errors or freezing and shit like that, then you could just crack the code.
But it's the infrastructure of Bitcoin is not designed. It's not like it's encrypted like currency or anything like that. It's blockchaining, bro. It's actually the thing that's so ingenious and beautiful.
It's changing in real time, isn't it?
It's actually built in the inside the
blockchains and parachains, and nobody can. The people who sell, they have to check with each other. If Bitcoin is sold, the person that buying it, everybody that owns it, like if you're a minor or whoever you are, it has to go through a system. It means everybody sees it. You can't lie about it. So it's not something you can manipulate.
In order to take down Bitcoin, you would have to take down the whole infrastructure, the whole internet. That's what's so ingenious about it, is that it's built.
Which is impossible. Exactly.
It's built in the system. That's why people are going crazy over it.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. That's why people are going crazy over it. That and the fact that it's not centralized. But which I mean. What might happen in the future is that they're trying to build some type of eco-friendly type of system where it's like green friendly or something like that. That's going to enhance it. Regardless, bro, this is the new form of currency.
So tell you what, make as much money as you can from it as long as possible. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, that's if you putting money into it right now,
it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere.
That's a fact. It ain't going nowhere. But even if you put in $20, $30,
that's their main system. Cash App, PayPal. These are main platforms, bro. It ain't going nowhere, bro. It ain't going nowhere.
Even if you're putting like $20, $30 in right now, and then let's say 20 years from now the American dollar crashes, by bare minimum, bro, you're at least preserving your purchasing power. It ain't going nowhere, bro. Look what happened in Greece. Look what happened in Venezuela. Look what's going on in Honduras. It's saving people's purchasing power. It's getting them out of the economy that they're tied to.
I hope the dollar don't go nowhere. Because America may have all this shit and whatnot, but nigga, I love America, nigga. We need this shit going as long as possible, dog. Because
I mean,
everybody in the world, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in the world. I mean, we got to change the culture in America, but this shit got to keep going for the world to keep going the way it is. Otherwise, it's gonna become, I mean, the culture in America influences the world, and I think we got to keep the dollar as long as possible. If we want to stay lit, we want to stay living the life we live in, like doing YouTube, like this shit right here, we need America. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, you're right, but we just got to be aware of what comes with that, bro. Bombs got to go over Baghdad in order for us to have Teslas. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of blood sacrifices in the name of our way of life. You choppy, bro. I can't hear you, guys.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yo, hold on. Yo, Bitcoin for a smart dude, you can't get some smart.
Yo, I'm on LTE, bro. I'm on LTE. I'm living a good life over here.
Damn.
I mean, I got LTE too. I don't know. Maybe they don't like what I'm talking about. I don't know.
Well, you sound clear with that.
It's because you're not Puerto Rican, I think.
That could be. It could be. It could be. Fuck Puerto Ricans. How about that? They can all go to hell. Come on.
No, here we go.
Man.
Oh, damn. See?
This shows that he's not one of those.
He got the fish. He got the
Puerto
fish.
Ricans,
I didn't hear you. I don't care.
One more time. Matter of fact, send all the Puerto Ricans back to Puerto Rico. Deport them right now. All of them motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, like they can actually be deported. There will have to be the citizenship will have to be taken away from all the 5 million of them that are living on the mainland.
Yeah, you could do if you.
Go ahead, my bad.
If you deport all the Haitians in DR, you could fit Puerto Rico like 8 times in that bitch.
Where in where in DR?
In DR, hell, you could fit the island of PR in DR like 8 times. So like the number of illegal Haitians we got in DR, if you remove them all, you could fit like every Puerto Rican in DR. Real talk.
How many Haitians are in the Dominican Republic though?
I think they'll take that trade. I think they will take that trade.
They would.
Yeah, we would.
You know they would.
They would. I don't agree with it, but they would.
Like, we trade.
I think so.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, who's building? I can't hear nothing.
No one's speaking.
We building.
No one's speaking.
Yo, you talking about Cuba, right? You talking about Cuba. You know what happened back in the days of Cuba in the 1920s? You heard the stories of what happened? The 20s and 30s. I'm talking to you, Mr. Styles.
Enlighten me, bro. Enlighten me.
Mr. Styles, come on.
Well, I don't know what you're referring to. A lot of things happened in the 20s. You're talking about casinos. You're talking about mafia.
You don't. When the mafia was in there and they were basically extorting the country. and they were up in there with the casinos and shit like that.
Yeah, it was like the
Meyer
Vegas.
Lansky.
Yeah, like the Vegas of that time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
That was the 20s.
Unfortunately, Havana was the whorehouse of the United States.
I thought it was like the 50s or something.
20s and 30s.
Yeah, well, I mean, up until the revolution, it was like that. That's when Batista
Yeah,
Batista had
it was like the Sosua of
Yeah,
when Sosua was lit.
Batista was a dictator and super corrupt, and the United States was treating him like shit.
They had that shit lit. Cuba was fucking lit, bro. I have family. I remember back in those days.
Yeah,
that shit
it was a
lit.
colony. It was a colony of the United States, but I guess
Yeah,
it might have looked good.
It was lit to American standards. It wasn't lit to their standards, and that's why they had
Bro,
a
that shit
revolution.
brought jobs, though. What do you mean? That shit brought jobs. Are you kidding me? They had casinos, full-fledged casinos. Like, I mean, you talking about casinos, bro, that bring money from tourists to fucking jobs. I mean,
Yo, I'm pretty
bro,
sure
it
if
was
you
a
add, if
Most
you
people were poor as fuck. Well, most people were poor as fuck in
they were more
in
poor.
Cuba because
They were more poor.
all of that money was going to the dictator there. I mean, most Cubans were illiterate. A lot of them didn't even have shoes.
and not to mention the literacy
But
rate.
they had
Not
jobs.
to mention,
No, that's
They
what
had
I'm
more
saying.
jobs.
they didn't have jobs. They were poor. They were dirt poor. Most of them.
What are you talking about?
It was like it was like a DR or a Haiti of that time.
But that's most places in that era at that time. I mean, even the U.S. in the Great
No,
Depression.
at that time, bro,
20s
they
and
had,
even
they
the
had
people were rich
exploitation,
at
they
that
had
time.
exploitation, importation at its highest point in
Of
DR. That's why
course,
Castro
there
got
was
jealous.
there was
Castro
no.
got fucking jealous and used fucking nationalistic pride and all these bullshit ass fucking words that he was taught in American fucking schools to say, hey, let me use these fucking gorillas that are in the fucking candy fields to fucking rise up against these motherfuckers because he just wanted to be fucking the leader. He didn't give a fuck. He really didn't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
He was a communistic leader, bro. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a shit about nothing, bro. If you went against him,
who's the gorillas?
You talking
Castro
about
was
his
the
army?
gorillas. He was the gorillas. I mean, he was the gorillas.
Oh,
he was-
sorry.
that was
No,
Talking about guerrilla warfare.
got you. No. I didn't know if you meant guerrilla warfare, like the guerrilla tactic soldiers, or he was talking about like these guerrillas, like the black people of Cuba.
Oh,
No,
guerrillas better.
warfare.
Yo,
guerrillas
this
warfare.
nigga,
Fighter.
you know what? Yo, fighter, you know good, bro.
I know
You
what
know
guerrilla
good,
you
bro.
talking about. You talking about GUERILLA? Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's two
man.
different. Yeah.
You said no
Oh, man, we
ratchetness,
just
yet you're bringing the
yeah, you know.
ratchetness.
Right. This nigga said, "What gorilla? What gorilla?"
Yeah, but didn't
we'll make a
this
lot
all
of-
start off as socialism, which is what a lot of these liberals out here are they're crying for it in this country nowadays. And
socialism.
what did
Exactly.
what did Castro do? He ended up taking over and it became communism. Socialism is a soft form of communism, right?
Exactly.
I believe.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I believe-
he did all that shit. He used the sensitive point of people at the lowest point to say, "Hey, yeah, let's do this." And then he gets everybody. All the people that were
Damn, bro, you sound like a robot, son. You choppy.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you.
You got a Hasbro phone. You got them toys I
Nothing,
was doing.
nothing you saying is being conveyed through the internet at all.
Yeah. Bitcoin, tell your white girl to pay
Bad,
the
it's
internet
bad.
bill, man.
Pay in Bitcoin, man. It'll work quicker.
Yeah, but that's what happened. I worked with a lady from Cuba, and she was in her 60s, and she was telling me that she remembers she was a little girl. Her father owned some business, and the military knocked on the door,
And took it.
basically telling her, telling her father, this don't belong to you no more.
It was their version of land reform. It's like if
That's not land reform, that's theft.
that's their, as I said, that's their version of land reform. I mean, you may see it that way, but if for 100 whatever years it was, it's, some white dude is owning all this land and 80% of our population is black and indigenous, they see that as land.
They
reform.
weren't. She wasn't white. She was black. They
Oh,
took everything
well, I mean,
from her
that's an-
pops, and they fled.
That's in the that's very rare. That is very rare. Most Cubans I meet, especially in Miami, are white. Now the ones who come here like after like that first wave, That first wave, yeah, they're more diverse. But what I do know in Cuba is at the time of Batista, that was a Eurocentric society, and Castro implemented a lot of justice as far as the leveling of their society, where he distributed the resources to everybody as much as he could. Now, I'm not saying that America should do that or anybody else should do that, but that's what they did, and it worked for them to a degree where they at least could be
Castro
autonomous.
was the worst thing that happened. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Castro was the worst thing that ever happened to Cuba.
I highly disagree with that. I believe he was the best thing that happened to Cuba.
Look at it this way.
That might depend on who you ask. Not everybody thinks exactly that. Maybe
Yeah,
the
'cause
people
it's like,
He
that
was
lost
such a great thing. Guess what?
the people that lost in the
If he was such a
revolution.
great person, then guess what? There wouldn't have been no Libertad movement for the fucking Scarface movement. In the 1980s and the 1970s, it wouldn't be no people flying fucking from Cuba to the United States on boats and banana boats. Little Elian Gonzalez says, if Cuba was so beautiful, because it wasn't.
Everything you're saying could be tied to the economy.
Like earlier, like I said, I have a Cuban friend. He's an older man. This guy's really knowledgeable. He lived in Cuba he's from Manzanilla, and he, he's been here.
You
now,
say he's knowledgeable doesn't really mean much, but go on.
What? Being knowledgeable doesn't mean anything?
Go ahead, bro. What you bill? I want to hear what you say.
All right. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna interview him, and just so he could speak on his experience of his knowledge of knowing what it feels like to be a Cuban who lives in Cuba under Fidel Castro's regime, right? So under his reign. So
can you tell us whether or not he favored it or he disfavored it? Do you know? Did y'all have that?
He opposed it heavily.
He opposed it heavily. And when you say he came to the States, I'm
not sure, but I think he's been here like well, his son is 18, so I'll say about 15 years, 18 years.
The only people who like Castro were the people who feared him and they literally were gonna die. They had to act like they loved him. Nobody liked him. They didn't like him,
bro. You see his
Nobody liked him at all.
funeral, bro. You see
now Bitcoin likes what I said because I agree with him, but when I disagree, I'm an idiot. But when I
that's
agree,
only one person.
But that's what they did. That's what they did in the Soviet Union. You would get sent to the gulag if you were talking against the government.
You couldn't talk against Castro if he even heard you talking like that.
When you got the whole world at your neck, when you got people trying to the biggest empire in the world trying to assassinate you, you have to rule with an iron fist in order to keep what you got. Now, like I said, I'm not agreeing with everything that the man did. I'm not a communist. I'm not a dictator or any of that. I don't agree with that. But I do understand the pressure and the situation he was under and why he had to do what he had to do. And I believe he was prolific when he said history will absolve him of his sins. I think that was profound and prophetic. And I do believe most people around the world, history will absolve me of my sins. That's what he said. And that was
and you just like a romantic political story, Mr. Styles.
Nah, I'm not.
That's what I think.
But history shows and proves that, bro. Like, we're in the United States. Yes, of course. Most people in the United States are not gonna like Castro because of all the propaganda we've been fed. But in the world, on an international scale, you go to South Africa, you go to Thailand, you go all around, they all revere and love Castro because he stood tall against the biggest empire in the world and died a natural death. That says something. That says a lot. And then all the things he's contributed to his society, bro. You know, he don't send armies to go help people. He sends doctors. When this whole pandemic thing, go ask Italy how they felt about Cuba. Go ask all these people around the world who get free aid from them on a level of a medical and shit like that. People go to Cuba all around the world, get free education, become doctors. Like I said, it's to whose standards? To our standards as Americans, where we value monetary things. I like all that shit too. I love big fat asses. I like hot cars because I'm American. But I understand somebody living in another country ain't gonna have the same value system I have. In my country, you know, chopping somebody's fucking head off is immoral. But somewhere in the fucking bushes, somewhere in Brazil, that might be their thing. They might just go and collect heads. And it's not morally against them. You know, whoever. Sharia law, you know what I'm saying? That's their thing. I don't condone it in the United States. Hell no. But over there, that's what worked for them. Peace.
Hey,
Do your thing over there.
shout out to shout out to Blood Moon for that donation. Thanks very much.
Peace, Blood Moon. I love you.
Hey, but bro, that might be a man, bro. So we don't know, bro. That's why I was about to say love you, but it might
Oh
be
yeah,
a
yeah,
man.
yeah. She never showed the face.
Nah, I don't know. I
Nowadays,
mean, I do think
I
it's a woman.
mean,
No. Matter of fact, it is a woman because of the PayPal name. Yeah, it is a
to
woman.
So
to
nonetheless,
the
I love all
dude's
human beings on
point,
planet Earth.
yeah, he may have, you got the doctors and the reading rates and all of that stuff, but
Indeed.
what good is what good is all the stuff that he's done if you look at the state of the island now? That's my
Well,
question.
all right. I mean, like I said, we keep talking about the state of the island, but we all can agree that that is directly from the embargo. So all I'm simply saying is that his accomplishments in the situation that he was in is magnificent. To sit up and stand against the empire, the greatest empire in human history, and still be able to achieve all
How
those
did he
goals for his
stand
people.
up? You keep on standing up, bro.
Bro,
If he standing
you're
up, how
sonically
do we have a
challenged, bro.
military base in his country, bro? How do we have a
How,
military base in this country?
I'll
How?
explain to you
How?
I'll explain to you how he stood tall. Is because he didn't give in to American interest. That's how he stood tall, and he stuck to his script. He stood tall on what he stood on, and I respect that. Whether I agree with what you do or
Bro,
not,
you don't
ay, Dios mío,
Bro,
papi, I want
you
to
don't
hear you, bro.
think
But
yo,
about
yo,
No, no entiendo, no
yo,
entiendo.
buy a new phone. The one you got right now. Look, this is what I'm gonna tell you. Do right. You grab the Ziploc bag, right? This is how you fix it. You grab a Ziploc bag, put some rice in it. Then you grab a black bag. Hold on. You grab a black bag, right? You go outside. You jog to your nearest highway, freeway, and just throw it over that bitch, bro. And then you go to Sprint or you go to Verizon and get a new phone because your shit is fucking up, bro. And all right.
Can I ask
hey,
you a
hey, hey, hey,
question? Can
hey,
I ask
bro.
you real quick, fighter? Why do you have to throw good rice away? What's the matter with you?
Not because you're sacrificing the phone. I mean, so it's a
But why are you sacrificing the rice? What are you, a rich
no.
guy?
I
You
mean,
rich?
because I
You
mean, you
balling
have
like that?
it's like when you do sacrificial ritual, you have to give something of yours. I mean, not just a phone. You got to give something else too. Like you gotta some food, a human being,
Yo,
rice. I mean, so
who was the brother who posed that question to me? That was Danny.
Which question? I kind
Uh,
of got like sidetracked.
uh, the question about how do I justify, the positives versus the negatives versus the state of the
Well,
island? Who posed
like
that question?
I understand the stuff that he did. I'm not knocking that because you know what I mean. That's important. Education is very important.
Yeah, so
But
it's
it's
medical.
like look at the state of the island now.
Okay,
And is
all right,
the
but
new guy who's running it
his
because
brother, I
isn't his
believe.
brother? No, I
Yeah,
thought
his
his
brother.
brother didn't. His brother didn't die yet.
Nah, I don't think he died. He might have stepped down.
I think.
I think I heard he stepped down and he's probably about to die. I don't. I
Yeah,
never.
because
I
Yeah,
they
never
were
yeah, no,
supposed to
no,
have a
he's still
quote unquote
alive.
election.
So, what election?
That's what I said,
well,
quote unquote election. But
uh,
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying.
that,
Like all of that is
so, but
cool, and I do
yeah,
respect that. Like you know what I mean. You're like you want educated people. You want them going into like STEM fields and stuff like that. That's cool, but it's like look at the state of the island as it is. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I
So all
think
right,
that's what people draw that distinction where it's like, okay, yeah, he did do all of that. Again, I'm not knocking that,
yeah, no
but
doubt,
when you're
no
going
doubt,
into the supermarket and there's nothing on the shelves,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt, and nobody could argue the fact that they struggle economically speaking, and I get what I understand what you're saying. You're saying is the trade off worth it?
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. I get that. I guess my question to you that I was going to pose to you, if you understood my sentiment, because even though I see it the way you see it, as far as I don't want to live like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that here in America, nah. But once again, I pose that question to whose standards? You understand what I'm saying? So if we take that into consideration, right, and we draw up all the positives and the negatives, that's how I come to that conclusion. That's why I revere and respect the man the way that I do. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm not sitting here advocating for that here where we live, but I'm taking into consideration the environment that they live in, their value system, their society, and I understand they're not going to see it the same way we see it. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I was posing that question. I'm not asking if you agree with me. I'm just asking if you understand the sentiment that I posed.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. That's all.
Yeah, word. Well, that's peace. Damn, that shit went dead real quick. Anybody got anything else to add on?
Anyone, Rancho, if you wanna hop in and add on to the build of what Lattice is, we did cover a lot already, but I'm gonna be live. Let me see. Hold on. I'll probably be live for maybe for like another half hour, 45 minutes. So tops, and I'm dead ass. You know what I'm saying? So
Add on.
so G, if you wanna hop in, anyone else wanna hop in, sundown, anything.
Yo, fighter, let me ask you how you feel about the unification of the Antilles. You for it or against it?
Economically, it wouldn't work, and culturally, and it wouldn't work. It's too many cultures. Is We'll be compromising a lot, and at the end of the day, Dominican Republic is, even though it's doing the best in the Caribbean, it's not it's not good. It's still a third world country. There's still people dying of hunger,
Mhm.
no medical care,
Yeah,
illiterate.
So
It,
you don't think it'll be successful? You don't think it's possible for it to be successful? That's what you're saying?
it's too much conflict of interest, and like we have to remember, there's
You
other
fam-
components. There's gonna be foreign components, and people gonna hop in, and that they're not gonna allow that, even if that was the goal. They're gonna get blackballed or tampered with.
embargoed like Cuba. You saying like they
Right,
like the
right,
world would
yeah,
turn its back
yeah,
on them?
yeah. It's just too many things have to go right for that to even work. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
everything has to align because you're gonna have people that are gonna sneak in with a bag of money, telling fighter, "Hey, well, we want you to advocate for things going this way, you and your people." You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then you'll have other special interests that are gonna go on the other side that want things done that way. And it.
Now working together cohesively. Okay, that's that. Yeah, why not?
Are you familiar with the
yeah.
history of the formation of this country as far as the 13 colonies? You know, like we didn't only have one civil war. A lot of people think we only
Oh
had
yeah.
one civil war. Like,
Bro.
Michigan used to kill Ohio. West Virginia and Virginia, they used to all battle. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of everything you saying happened here.
Oh yeah. Oh
That,
yeah. Oh yeah, bro. But that was a bloody road. That was
that's why I say, man. That's why I say, man. There's no such thing as a bloodyless revolution.
right. That what happened was not.
That's necessary
you
for revolution, bro. And once again, let me reiterate, since we on the internet, I am not advocating for any violent behavior, but I'm just saying that's what comes with it.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Do I have the heart, the cojones, the testicular fortitude to go and do something? Like, yeah, I could go to war, but do I want to? No.
Nah, hell no. Nobody
No,
wants to go to
I'm
war.
saying I want to
Nobody
go
really
to war.
wants that. If it
Nobody
can
wants
be
that.
avoided as much as possible, hell yeah, it needs to be avoided. But it only as an absolute last resort. We have to be smart about that. I mean,
Indeed.
when everything else fails.
Indeed. Indeed.
What's up, OG Antiano? What up?
What's up, big dog?
Um,
Peace.
I heard you
so
guys were talking about Castro and stuff.
yeah. So now, but I want you to give your opinion on the main topic of Lattes. We covered a lot already, but what is your thoughts on what Lattes is? What
I
it
have
meant?
no idea what Lattes is. Can you? Is that something to do with Dominican independence?
Puerto Rican. but
Oh,
it's rooted in the Dominican Republic.
it's like I've heard of it. It's like El Grito de Lares, right?
Right. Yes.
That's a
Yes.
town.
Right, right.
That's a town in Puerto Rico where it went down. It was like a rebellion. But
Yeah.
the history of that flag, which is the official flag of Lares, the town, and it's the official flag of the Puerto Rican independence movement. It was the official flag of 1844 to 1849. That was the Dominican flag. And we kind of built on. I don't know how much you caught, but we kind of built on the history of how that got there. Because the father of Puerto Rican nationalism, Ramon, I can't even say his last name, part of self.
Emeterio Betances.
Thank you very much, brother. Yeah, that man right there. He's what we dub as the father of Puerto Rican nationalism, which both his parents were born in Hispaniola. At the time was Hispaniola, which was Dominican Republic. It just wasn't a
Santo Domingo.
nation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he was actually from Santo Domingo, the capital.
No,
but
isn't that what it was called? It was called Santo Domingo, the whole Spanish half, right?
You could be right. I don't know.
Before it was called Dominican Republic, I think it was called Santo Domingo.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on that. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not a fan of the independence movements, whether they're from Mexico or Central America or Venezuela or the Southern Cone. I think looking back on the independence movements, you can tell that they always ended up serving somebody else as opposed to us. And from what I know of the independence movements of the islands, is that ultimately Cuba and Puerto Rico became American territories. And Cuba was able to wiggle away, but Puerto Rico was not. And I don't know. I know Puerto Ricans who hate that. I know Puerto Ricans who love that. But for me personally, I don't think it's been a net positive for Puerto Ricans, especially when you compare. Touching on Castro, when you compare Cuba and Puerto Rico, because these are essentially as close as two people can be in every sense of the word. But even though Cuba is poorer, I think when you look at Puerto Rico's fertility rate, for example, I think it's the lowest in the world, or one of the lowest in the world. And I think that's a sad case. I think that's a sad situation to be in. So it's like, I don't necessarily see Puerto Rican independence as a net positive for the Puerto Ricans. But I'm not Puerto Rican, so I don't know.
So what would you suggest?
I think ideally I think that if the independence movements didn't go the way they did go, I think the empire would have still split up. I think we still would have had independence. I just think it would have been a lot more organized, more peaceable, more integrated. These territories would have divided themselves and still worked within a community, kind of like you see the British Commonwealth today, right? Where like they're independent countries supposedly, but they still all kind of program together. I'm talking about like Canada and Australia and the UK and all that. So I think the island territories would have logically kind of either remained together or maybe somehow connected to the coast of South America or even Mexico, because Cuba and Mexico are actually pretty close. Something should have worked out where we could have still held some kind of territorial integrity and not have to suffer the way we did. But history is the way it is.
I got you. So
Basically.
but
Yo,
go ahead.
real quick, dog. Who you all think is good? It would have been good to run Puerto Rico. If they were to say go ahead and run it, you can't leave it to just anyone. Do y'all know? Do y'all have someone you can say, well, these people would do a good job? Because I think America may put Puerto Rico in a position where they couldn't manage themselves right now. You know what I mean? They don't really have the. Because it takes
Puerto Rico
fire.
runs Puerto Rico. The only
Fire
thing
the-
we can't do is
fire
vote.
the
Do everything
spirit.
else. We're not Senate.
Oh, right,
There's only one thing we
right.
can't do is not vote. We can't vote for president.
You do have your own
Instead-
like inside government, right?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
all
yes,
right,
but
all right. My
but
bad, my bad.
it's
No, fight a
100%
good one, bro.
dictated.
You
It's
answered my you
100%
answered
dictated
that
by
question just like
Congress.
I would.
There is a
Yeah,
local
Yeah, right,
government. The
right. All
island
right.
does have a local
Yeah,
government,
so
but
you
the
already
one the
Well,
island
I
sorry,
think
go ahead.
to try to answer the question, when Puerto Rico was a Spanish territory, they had, for example, food autonomy. They had, for example, positive fertility rates. They had so much food that they actually exported it. And if you go to Puerto Rico today, they don't produce their own food. They have a very negative
Coming in
fertility
on a
rate.
ship.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it all
No,
Yeah,
comes
that's
in
what
by
I was
forced
ship.
to
thinking. That
import it. And Puerto Rico is forced to import it. There was a time, yes, that it was more of an agricultural economy, but the United States forced Puerto Rico to change that into a more of a manufacturing type of economy. But that
Or
meant that
consumer-based economy.
Well, that's
No,
because you got
consumer-based
Walmart,
economy.
you have Target, you have these big corporations
Well,
that
no,
are
but
there now.
it
People go to
Walmart,
Walmart like,
Target, those
you
are
know,
recent things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it being about manufacturing,
yeah,
20
but
bringing
years.
factories.
yeah,
I
but that
mean, I
went
mean,
that
Puerto Rico became a laboratory. I mean, when they rolled out with birth control, they sterilized the shit ton of Puerto Rican women in order to
that's
get that out of the.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. There were
Okay.
testing a sterilization shot, something like that, and they were doing that without the consent of
of the women.
the local
Yeah,
women.
oh
they've done that
fuck.
numerous
Oh
places.
fuck.
Yeah, but it started
Oh
in
Puerto
Puerto
Rico was
Rico.
fuck.
not. Puerto Rico was
yeah,
not
Puerto
one of
Rico was
the
the
first
first
places
one.
they started doing this for women. It was
If
happening
there
in
was
South
no
America even
arms, no
before that.
call to arms,
Okay, they were doing
nothing,
it in
y'all.
Venezuela.
There
They
was
were doing
no.
it in Costa Rica.
Yeah, they were doing it all over. It's
Uh,
that's been like declassified for
They
a
were
long
doing
time.
it was a Latin American. It was probably more of a Latin American fucking experiment more than it was just like Puerto Rico just happened to be the strategic point military wise for the United
Yeah,
States. That's why
yeah.
that's why Cuba, they didn't give a fuck. They were like, hey, you know what, Cuba, you want to just stay over there, fine. But they were never letting Puerto
America
Rico
did
go
it to
because it had the best military strategic point.
So
Yeah, because
what
it's
that
America
is
did that
because
shit to
it's right in the
Venezuela
middle
and
of the
Colombia.
Caribbean.
what that is neoliberal policies on economics. They did it with Mexico through NAFTA. Mexico was a food independent country where they produce their own corn and their own food. And then NAFTA said, you can no longer produce it. You have to let us produce it, and we're gonna do the free trade. So that's what America does in all countries. It
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
focuses on
they
on a
monopolize the
global aspect.
conglomerates.
I
Yeah,
think
they,
another thing to notice about Puerto Rico, uh, and I say this with full love to my Puerto Rican brethren, and I say this to my the people I know personally, is that Puerto Rico's used as a factory in the culture war. Like the music that comes out of Puerto Rico, and I'm thinking like reggaeton specifically, it's like what they
Yeah,
use to
yeah.
spread everywhere else in Latin America. And whether you like that music in the club is one thing or another, but the net result of it is the degeneration of society. Yeah,
Immorality. Yeah,
and these are American
yeah.
companies behind these musicians. So I think even people like Ricky Martin was crucial for the
Look at Bad
normalization
Bunny.
of homosexuality and the acceptance of homosexuality in Latin America. Because before Ricky Martin, nobody fucked with that. And then it was like, oh, you're going to be mean to Ricky Martin? You don't want him, to be your friend because he's gay? You're going to discriminate against him? So it's like,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
was so
way that they
disappointed
use
in
Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Rico, man. I was so disappointed in Puerto Rico when they made a big deal about that insult to Ricky Martin about backing up the gay people so much, like with that kind of commitment. Like they should put that in morals. You know what I mean? They
Okay.
put that
No,
fire
but
into
hold on,
in morality.
But you know
hang
what's
on,
crazy though?
hang on.
Bitcoin told me that he can separate the artist from what he does in the bedroom. So he still bumps Ricky Martin to this day.
Living la
No,
vida
and as a
loca.
Puerto Rican myself, I don't hate.
Let me tell you something. I
I could
love
never.
Ricky Martin. I don't give a
But
fuck.
let me finish. Let me
Let me tell
No,
you
finish.
no,
something.
Ricky
I
Martin.
could never.
That's
I could never hate Ricky Martin. Okay,
I'm
he
talking
came
about
out
the
of the closet and all of that.
morals, not the man.
That's perfectly fine. But that whole thing about us like promoting homosexuality on the island, that's not a thing. Okay,
No.
you can
No,
bring
no,
up the
no,
whole
no.
thing with the
Don't
marriages.
misinterpret me. I didn't mean to say that Puerto Ricans do. No, I'm saying that Puerto Ricans are used by the media
Yeah, no, OG, that wasn't your comment. That's
Yeah,
Spider's comment.
yeah,
But I tell you what, OG,
Oh,
I tell you what, fighter. I tell you what, you could be the most gayest, ugliest Puerto Rican, but a Puerto Rican will keep you and love you no matter how broke you are. There's a difference in the Dominican population. You know why? Because all they care about is your bank account. They'll sell you out for $2. It's very materialistic in your culture. So boom, take that one and don't let that go over your fucking head.
What?
Fuck you, nigga.
What?
How you like that? How you like that?
Why you attacking fighters, man? Plus fighters.
Yo, listen,
Puerto Ricans are not materialistic. We love
Bitcoin,
you, we love you. We
Bitcoin.
hate you, we hate you.
Bitcoin. I wish I could
cash
laugh.
at me,
But,
cash at me.
yo, I wish your cash at me. Go ahead. Yeah, hell yeah. I wish.
After all this bullshit, I'm gonna have to.
Yo, listen. I wish you had a good mic or a good phone because I did not hear not one thing you said, so I could laugh. Like I did not.
That's
hear
funny.
one
Everybody else was laughing.
I didn't. I don't know. They maybe because they speak remedial, so I don't know. They understand remedial. So I don't understand remedial. No man.
No, but you know what? Puerto Rico, though, the man on the corner, what's his? I'm sorry, I forgot.
The man on the corner.
Yeah,
Oh, you saying we all drug dealers? We all drug dealers now?
The man on the corner on the Manteca.
Yeah,
which one on the corner? I want.
Yeah, you bro. You didn't see the you know when they did that, it wasn't Ricky Martin that I'm talking about. It was the way America portrayed that whole situation in the media, the way I got it, the way the world got it. They were like look at their Puerto Rico. They're they're defending gay being gay the morals.
When they were
No, but if you're talking about the networks like
the
Univision
insult.
having,
I appreciate you, French.
I'm trying to figure out what he's referring to. You referring to the time frame when they were persecuting transsexuals a few years ago or last year?
No, dog. Remember when
that's a good thing.
I mean,
persecuting transsexuals is a good thing?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's okay.
Well, I may have something to say about the whole so-called trans trend, but I wouldn't want them persecuted. I wouldn't want them harmed, though.
Yeah, I'm more disgusted with persecution than I am anybody's sexual orientation.
I think they got to be put in a crazy hospital and helped.
And I don't think you should show that.
It's 2021, bro. It's not 1972. It's not 1972. That's no longer considered a mental illness.
I don't care.
Yeah, but when you shift the goalposts,
book says
that's all the liberals do, bro. They shift. They take the goalposts
like when
out
you're like
and they move
Latino
it.
and you pick on 13-year-old white girls for shooting at white cops and you make a whole video of it without having like the other side talking about it, and you're like, yeah, 13-year-old white girls shoot at white cops with a 12-year-old white boy, you're sick in the fucking head. That dude needs to be put down like a fucking animal. That nigga needs to be taken out. Somebody needs to take him out, put him in a hospital, put him a blood moon, and get him the fuck out of here. Radical Latino, you need to go. That he's bad for the society, straight up.
I don't understand what the hell you was talking about. I don't understand where any of that came from.
I think he was talking about
conflation there. What was that about?
Yo, it's the medication. The medication, guys. The medication.
The Xanax is wearing off.
Bitcoin said that's what they need to do to him.
It's the medication.
Well, I would say this for
do
yourself. Hold on, Kilo. Kilo. Bitcoin. Do yourself a favor, bro. When this is done, don't go to sleep. Replay it and listen to yourself. And when you listen to yourself, you're gonna be like, "Wow, this is how I sound," and you're gonna change. You're gonna change.
I don't do that. I don't live in
Bitcoin,
the past.
don't lie. How old are you, Bitcoin? How old are you? Don't lie.
He said he was 37 earlier. It sounds like someone playing with a stapler. What's going on?
My problem is when they want to normalize this type of behavior to
thank
children.
You, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Showing your matureness. Thank you, sir.
They constantly want to shift the goal. They want to move the goalpost any chance that they get. And I think it's a big problem where I believe it was here in New York City where, if I'm not mistaken, a kindergarten teacher was playing a video for little kids how to masturbate. That's where the depravity comes in. And it is a mental illness when you're pushing that on children, These children
What was it?
children should be allowed to grow up, no matter how their life is,
Indeed.
but they should grow up, and once they make a decision as an adult, as a legal of age adult to be a transmission, they can do that.
Indeed. I agree with
I
that
don't-
sentiment 100%.
But
Bro, like,
when
you
you're
know what
pushing it
happened
on
to
the children, and yet what they're doing is that they're poisoning
man.
our culture. That's what they're doing.
They're programming them.
You know
They're
what happens
programming
to
them.
a child, bro, when you introduce them to pervert shit like that, bro? Like to a kid, they become fucking animals when they grow up, bro. They think they could fuck anybody and anything, bro. They be fucking their own sisters and shit like that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
I think
going
the
on.
thing is like
It's
if you
going on
don't
in
It's
want
like
people's
it to
life.
be
proper weapon,
normalized,
bro. That is a weapon like a
you can't
motherfucker. But go
accept
ahead,
it
dog.
openly. Like that's the thing. It's like before Ricky Martin, you had Juan Gabriel. And so it's like it works and then after Ricky Martin, now you have what's this faggot's name? The Puerto Rican kid, Bad Bunny. You know what I'm saying? And what's gonna happen after Bad Bunny? It just keeps getting degenerate because you accept. I'm not saying go beat these people up, but you can't accept and normalize it and say, oh, whatever you do in your bedroom is your own business. Like if you do something,
But it is.
no,
But it
no,
is.
but
Okay, you
it's
can
not.
disagree
Let
with
me
it all
explain
you
to you.
want, but it's still
No,
their
hold on.
business.
I
Let me
disagree with
explain
that.
yeah,
It's not for us
I
to
understand.
police that.
I understand the rationale, but back in the day, like during our grandparents or great grandparents' days,
We don't live in those
I
times
know.
anymore,
Hold on, but
Rancho.
let me just explain the anecdote, and then we'll take some lessons from it. If Pedro, who's married, got caught cheating on his wife with Juan's wife, then the whole town would kick these people out. They
That's
might
more
even
justice. We
kill
don't
them.
do that anymore.
Hold on, but let's
I would
understand.
you need to start doing it, bro. That's what's wrong with your country,
Let's
bro.
understand
You
their
need to start
logic.
fucking
The
kicking
reason
asses,
why they
bro.
did that, is because when you open up that genie out of the bottle, you bring in energies that are destructive to society at large. So you can say, yeah,
Amen, bro.
whatever the gay couple across the street does is none of my business. Until one day a little boy goes missing, and it turns out he got touched under his parts by one of the gay men. So then it does affect society, and so that's the thing, right? It's like, yeah, sure, if two consenting
Or he
adults
goes
want to
in,
do that, and you can somehow guarantee that isn't going to get outside of there, then that's one thing. But the reality in the real world is most homosexuals have been molested as children, right? Homosexuals have a high
yeah,
rate
yeah.
of molesting children. So it's like we can't disconnect these things. You can't just say, oh, what they do is their business, but what they do
I've never,
affects society.
As adults, it
I've
is.
never,
I get the point about what you're saying about the kids, but when we're talking about adults, yes, it is their business. Okay, you are kind of like bringing in the whole thing about pedophilia and all. Of course,
yeah,
that's
I've never
wrong.
seen.
Of course, I wouldn't
Related.
I've
want
never
that
seen.
happening.
Okay,
I've never
let's
seen those
Because
skip
it
that
goes,
part
pictures.
of it. Let's skip that part of it. Let's look at the
oh man.
statistics
So
that
you're acting like you don't know the type of
when someone goes through that reassignment surgery, when they go through that, 40% of those people end up committing suicide. So that's what you're pushing on these kids. That's what these liberal teachers in these liberal cities and these liberal states are teaching these kids, right? They're teaching them to champion that, but they're not telling them the negative effects of it, because a lot of them commit suicide, unfortunately, after they get the
Then when they're
surgery.
transgender,
Well, you're talking about
you're
transsexuals
supposed to let a
versus
50-year-old man who
homosexuality.
identifies as a woman to
A
walk
lot
in
of
a
moving
little
Hey,
parts in
yo,
this
I want
conversation.
to
it's
ask
okay.
y'all in
Bro,
the
it's the
panel.
same
Hey,
thing.
yo, I want to ask y'all a question. That since y'all are men, I hope what some of you are fucking like honest to the fucking heart, bro. All right, like I hope so. You have those balls, bro. Do you believe that? And it's two questions. Do you believe what they say that a child doesn't know sexuality, doesn't know, the whole man, woman, bees, all that shit, doesn't really understand it until he's like of a certain age, like 11, 12, when a certain some comes into him. And
Nah,
do you in another do you think
Definitely not a
I
3 years
think
old.
Of course,
I think no.
all
Listen,
behavior
no
is
no
learned behavior. Of
okay, so
course,
then when
I
nobody's
think
so
born
what
with
age
any.
so what age
Hold on, hold on,
age,
hold on.
bro?
Let me give you an example. Like I seen a video
White.
of a baby, right? He
Yo, Blood
saw he
Moon is
saw he,
delusional. Many white
he
rich people
saw
want to live in the heights.
Yo, but anyways, it's in our
Dumb
instinct, right? Like
bitch.
I saw a video of a baby, and he saw like a beautiful woman, like a pretty woman, and he just started humping her leg, or started like literally kissing her, and he was like 3, 4, 5. So it comes natural.
Yeah, that's
It's like
nature. That's programmed
it's
into your
nature.
Yes,
DNA as a male
yeah,
and as a
that part.
female.
No,
There's
I'm
certain
saying the
characteristics and traits
homosexual part though.
that are programmed. I mean, I'm sorry,
When did any of you realize that you liked women
When I was like
or
4,
that you
nigga,
liked men?
3, 4
Yo, how did this
women.
conversation go from Lottis to
I, I,
homosexuality?
I honestly didn't like women or nothing like that, bro. At 4 years old, I just wanted to fucking fight, bro. I didn't even
I
know
mean, we're
about
all different.
sexuality, bro. I was barely
We all
realizing what my dick was, bro.
It's abnormal
It's
behavior.
about
It's
it's
Can
about
abnormal
the
behavior for a
pain.
okay,
grown,
It's
grown
about
man.
can we get away from the whole pedophilia
See,
shit?
no, it's no,
The
it's
whole
just see the thing is, bro, that you said that gay people don't that they it don't go it don't go with the pedophilia and all that, but it does, bro. You're not listening to what Rancho said, bro. That's what
I
he
heard
said.
what
We're
he
all
I've
said.
saying,
never
bro.
seen no statistics.
I heard what he said.
They're using. So you don't think they're using homosexuals, grown-ups, mature grown-ups on TV and all that? Like my nephew, he saw that lady, that Kardashian dude that turned into a bitch, and he asked my sister, like, well, isn't that a man? And all those
Yeah, but that's
questions. When a kid asks a question,
that's
he
the
wants an answer,
Kardashian.
bro.
That's
yo,
what the
that
Kardashian
damages
clan
That's reality, bro. That's
will do to
reality.
you. You're not gonna wanna be a man anymore. Those
that
motherfuckers are
damages
crazy. You know what I mean,
that damages
that's another
society.
thing. Now I do agree. I do agree that they shouldn't be teaching that shit to kids. That's something that kids should be able to come into their sexuality on their own when they grow up and they come into their own, and the parents should be there to help and guide them through them and educate them. But that's something that should be done at home. That should not be pushed to like elementary school children. Of course I'm opposed to that.
But they're
But
trying to
Go ahead and fuck with
they're
a gay
trying to
person in Puerto Rico
normalize
and see what happens to you. They'll fuck you up. They
they're,
will
they're,
fuck you up.
they're trying to
The whole family.
they're trying to normalize something that's not even normal. Like you don't even see that in nature. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what
normal.
their
It's like
push is. That's the whole neoliberal leftist agenda. So I mean,
it's this destruction of society.
you want you simple fix. Don't let your kids watch TV. Monitor what they're watching. Put them in a Catholic or Christian school that doesn't promote that stuff.
Yo,
well, I
Damon,
don't
you
know
remember
if a
MTV?
Catholic
Yo, Damon.
school. I don't know if a Catholic school
Catholic
Yo,
school is gonna get
would
touched
be
real
much better.
even
No,
quicker.
but
What are
you
you
know what I
talking about?
mean. You take them out of
yo,
the
Damon, you remember? Yo,
public school indoctrination camps
No,
because
no,
that's what
okay,
it is.
yeah, I get it.
yeah,
I get the part about what you're
Yeah, but
saying
you
about
MTV.
talk
public
about
school. It's just that
pedophilia.
you say a
Catholics are
Catholic
the number one
school. I don't know
pedophilia
No,
about
but
that
I'm
school.
either.
saying like when you remove them out of the public school and you put them in a private school that doesn't push that type of agenda on them. Those are examples. Catholic schools are private schools. Christian schools are private schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's not a good place to
Yo, you
send your
remember
babies if
MTV?
you don't
Yo,
want them to
Danny, you
get
remember
touched by
MTV when I used
adults.
to have the third wheel, the
They
fifth
had the
wheel?
what? Yeah,
Remember
I
that
think
show
I
on
remember
MTV, the
that
fifth
show.
wheel? And they used to
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah, on the
like the straight
bus.
version. Okay. And then they had the straight version, right? On the fifth wheel. And then all of a sudden, what they do? They had the gay version,
Yeah,
right?
they
You know
got
what
the
I'm saying?
rainbow
Like,
version for
listen, it's okay.
everything.
They started pushing this shit, bro. Like, this was years ago.
Yo,
You know what I mean? It was like the fifth wheel. All of a sudden,
I'm
boom,
still
the
trying to figure
lesbian
out how
gay
the
version came out.
hell we got on this topic. Yo,
Yeah.
Rancho comes in the room,
I don't know,
says something about
but you keep
patitos,
on,
and then the whole
you keep on
Yo,
trying
conversation
to
guys,
got
change it
Yeah,
derailed
every
talking
time it
yo,
about
guys,
comes to a
well,
little
homosexuals.
gay
he's the
story.
one who
yo,
brought up
guys,
that subject
guys,
about the
guys,
I
about
guys,
the
know.
guys,
gayness.
hold on,
I
guys, hold
gotta
on.
give credit
We
where
can get
credit is
away
due.
from that though. We can get away from
Yo,
that
guys, hold on,
subject.
guys, hold on, guys. I'm gonna make a backup channel because y'all gonna get my shit fried. I'm gonna make a backup channel like
Yeah, you can't
tomorrow,
use
man.
the F word. Certain words we can't
Come on,
use.
yo, Kilo, man. I was downstairs, like, and I'm over here like shaking my
I
head like
didn't
I
I didn't
knew,
use I didn't say anything, bro.
nigga, bro. You
When
was
did I say? I didn't say anything.
nah, but
Did
you
I?
was you,
No, I said,
you
man, kids, man, they
That was your
be
boy.
jacking. Oh,
Yo,
I said
that was your boy
the
fighting. He the
J
one who
word.
said that. He said the F word. He's the only one who dropped that word. when he came in here and derailed the
Evan, you go,
conversation.
bro.
Rancho was the one who said
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Rancho, he let it slip too.
And then look, he leaves.
He's the
Rancho
only one
leaves
that
the
I heard him
panel.
say it.
You see that fighter? He started all this mess and he leaves the panel.
No,
Typical nigga.
Well,
Yo,
I can live
that's
with
what I'm
it.
saying.
Typical
That's why
dude
I
from
gotta give
nigga
credit where
agua.
credit's due. I gotta give credit where credit is due. He came in here, he derailed the whole conversation, and then left. That's the troll of the century.
Let's bring it back.
That's the troll of the century. Shout out to Rancho for that.
Typical dude from nigga agua. Typical.
Yeah, sure, that too.
That motherfucker smart as fuck, man. Yo, yo, those people y'all were talking about in New York, those dudes that talk about they're gonna smash those Israelites. Like do y'all see them a lot down there? Like they're common.
They're very common in New York. You go 42nd Street, Jamaica
They got
Avenue,
different
Arch
ones.
Avenue.
They got different ones. Like
Times Square.
They got like the negative ones. They got the ones that are like it's not just Hebrew Israelites. You got like
they got some good brothers.
When you really study that shit, you realize that it is true what they're saying. It's very biblical. We are Hebrews. There's no question. Now, whether what they say, hate white people, eat out, peace out, bro. That's all bullshit.
You very confirming your convictions,
what are you
bro.
talking about,
Show
bro? It's in the fucking Bible.
It's
in the Bible. What are you talking about?
That's the only reference you have. That's the only reference you have.
No, it is in the Bible. Bro, that's the only reference you need, bro. It is in the Bible. Not what they're saying. Not all that bullshit.
That's the only reference you need.
To mention that there's church, bro.
Everybody knows it.
That's the only reference.
How do you not know? You don't even study it. So how would you know?
I need.
The dudes,
I don't.
In my opinion,
in
my opinion, the dudes who are not. The dudes who are not like
that knows.
Screaming at any white person that walks by.
You don't even accept it to look at it.
The dudes who are not screaming at every single white person that walks by, you could actually have a conversation with them and you could learn about the Bible. There are those type of dudes, but then you have ones who just go off at the sight of a white person. I'm sure you've seen that before.
Right, but that's different. Those are your negative ones. But there's
that's
to
what
every
I'm
lie.
saying. There's some of them that you could actually have a decent conversation with.
The Puerto Ricans are really Ephraimites. That's real. That's all real. When you look in the Bible, Jacob's son, Joseph's son, those are all. That's fucking in the Bible. Those are all. He traveled the transatlantic trade. Traveled all that shit. Those are the kids, man.
Maybe those names may be in the Bible, but how do they apply to the Caribbean?
Us to take that on face value with the Bible.
Why don't you go look it up? Because as we can tell, your knowledge.
Oh boy, here you go.
Here we go.
Here you go. Sound like a bot.
Yo, fix.
The Israelites got him.
Yeah,
I just can't believe the gall of some of these people over here try to convince me that's an actual fact with one reference. With one reference, that's very.
And that's
why it's in the Bible, man. It's in the Bible.
My man, that is not an accurate historical book. You can believe that all you want, but you can't sit here and present a guy like me the Bible and says, "There goes your proof." I need to be able to cross reference. I need to be
but
able
some
to
of those things happened at different. Some of the stories happened at different points.
I was there. I saw
era. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why any person who really does study the Bible understands you got to get out of it. You got to go into the Gilgamesh epics. You got to go into the Enuma Elish. You got to go into different languages. So half these motherfuckers, if these people can't speak Aramaic or Syriac or any of the ancient languages, then they don't understand the Bible. They're taking it on face value. And that's an actual fact, because I can tell you 16 crucified saviors that predate Jesus Christ. But we're not gonna get into that argument. We're not gonna get into that argument.
The translations of the Bible itself tend to be inaccurate because the testaments were translated from other languages, and there is always something lost in translations.
Look at the documentary Zeitgeist.
That's a good one, because that documentary right there gave birth to the troll and gave birth to the debunking. If you notice, prior to that documentary, you didn't have this whole wave of YouTube scholars. That documentary was very profound and broke down a lot of fucking realization to people who are dumb, deaf, and blind to the reality of the world we live in. Me personally, I have no issue with anybody believing anything that they want. You could believe you the Hulk for all I care. The moment you push that shit on me, that's when I'm gonna combat you. And that's and you can't present something to me as a fact and just give me one reference, especially the Bible, which I can show and prove is fallacy. I'm not saying that it doesn't have any
Did I read the
gems in
Bible?
it. I'm not saying it doesn't have any value in it. Of course it does. Everything has value in it. But I'm saying that that's not the end all
I
be
got
all.
more value than you think.
You don't know what I
Yo,
think, bro. You
those
don't know what
things,
I
man.
think, and you don't know what I know.
I didn't want to believe in that shit, bro.
My man,
But I read the
listen to me.
Bible, bro. Sure
Listen to me,
enough,
bro.
man, that's
We don't
the
even think
struggle,
the same, bro. We don't even think the same, bro. You govern your logic with blind faith. I don't govern my logic with blind. I don't believe in nothing. I don't believe. Yes,
Dude, have
because
you
you sit
read
here
the
telling me
Bible
to
blind
believe.
faith?
You sitting here
I
telling
read
me
the
to believe.
Bible with my eyes. With my eyes. Have you?
You gonna let me speak, bro? You gonna speak over me?
Hello?
You gonna
Hello?
let me speak, or you gonna speak over
Oh,
me?
bro, I asked you, I said, have you? And then you stayed quiet.
No.
Go ahead.
You can't interrupt me and then try to derail what I'm
Go
saying.
ahead.
All right, so you gonna let me build, or you gonna interrupt me?
I mean,
Stupid
even
The
demons,
fact,
even demons know Jesus
You
is
saw
real.
out the red
Now,
carpet?
hold fast. What I'm
You
trying
can
to
stop
explain to
letting me
this,
be.
what I'm trying to explain to this young man here is that
Demons know Jesus is
you
real.
cannot sit here and tell me to believe something. To believe is to have doubt. I deal with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I deal with what I know. In order to obtain knowledge, you have to be able to do the scrutiny process yourself and go through that process of cross-referencing and figuring things out for yourself. If you're gonna
We
read
don't know
something
everything.
and believe it to be true, that's your right. And if you gain peace out of it, then go ahead. I support that. You know what I'm
We
saying?
don't know.
But what I'm saying is don't sit here and try to come to me and present this as fact when you're telling me to believe something. When belief is to have doubt. Knowing is to know something beyond a shadow of a doubt. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm not saying I don't have no belief, but I know how to distinguish the difference between my belief and what I know. I believe my daughter will live her life to her fullest potential, but I don't know that. What I know is that I'm going to do the best I can to make sure she do that. And with that, I say peace.
What do you believe in, man?
Ain't it back? Ain't it back?
What do I believe in? You asked me what I believe in?
Yeah.
I just said, I gave you one belief that I have. I have a belief that my daughter
I mean,
would live
about life, since you're like trying to discredit,
I'm
like
not trying to
religion.
discredit. I'm not trying to discredit religion. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm not trying to do that at all. All I'm simply saying is you cannot put your religious views on me and present it to me as a fact. That's what you believe, and that's fine. And people gain peace out of that, and I support that.
Okay, so what was in fact to you as they presented as a fact? Like
The fact that they're trying to
what they
associate Puerto Ricans as Hebrew Israelites.
Now, you hold on real quick. Yo, LT,
yeah.
Now hold on. You hopped in. That wasn't even a topic. You knew. What do you think about Lares? Do you know about the Grito of Lares?
No, I don't know that, bro.
Oh, you
Grito?
don't know. El
No.
Grito de Lares.
¿De Gigares?
No, the Grito de Lares. Grito de Lares.
Oh,
De
my bad.
Lares?
I'm drunk. I'm drunk. My bad. I'm not drunk, but I'm tired. Lares.
Lares, like Lares as in who, bro?
Okay, it's a place in Puerto Rico.
No, bro. I don't know much about Puerto Rico, carnal. I bet.
You said what?
He said he don't have no knowledge of it. He don't have no knowledge.
Okay.
Of what we're saying.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, go continue. LT, continue. Ask this question you had to ask.
Yeah, he said that they try to present something to him as a fact, and he said it's not fact. Well, what wasn't a fact that you claim it's not a fact?
I just said it that he was trying to associate Puerto Ricans as like some lost tribe of Israel. He's Ifo, I believe he referenced it to. So he's associating Puerto Ricans as Israelites.
As Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim.
There you
go.
It's nonsense.
They say that their tribe, that the tribes of Israel were scattered, man. So some migrated south. Some ended up in what is it called, like Ethiopia right now or some shit, right? They call themselves actually like getting in arguments online with like some dude from can't remember where. He says that his parents claim that you know, that they're actual Israelites. They're actually Jews and they're black, like fully black. So
If that's their
knowing,
faith,
hold on,
then
hold on,
that's
hold on,
right
hold
as
on,
that.
hold on, hold on. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. So I've heard several like comments like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, who knows exactly? I mean, you know what? But some people have said, some researchers, like, who knows, man? You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
the tribes of Israel migrated south, and from South Africa they migrated to South America, and from there came, you know, the Native Americans.
Okay, and I'm asking you, what is your references? Where are you getting this information from? And one thing I want to state is that this goes over a lot of people's heads, but we got to understand that Judaism is a faith. It is a faith. I can be Jewish tomorrow if I subscribe to Judaism. There is no ethno
Israelites.
genetic DNA that is associated with the religion. It's baffling to me how the whole world is convinced
Okay,
that
Yeah,
a
there
okay.
is.
religion
Just so
is a
you know,
race.
let me say this. You know the tribe of Judah. You know the Israelites. It's
Mhm.
Judaism. Judah, the tribe of Judah, and the tribe of Judah uses a lion.
Okay.
Eh? So just trace the name. It's easy. Trace the name. Even though if you try to discredit, you know, like the Bible and shit, well, it's still written records. It's still a written record.
I'm I'm
And
not I'm
and
not
and
I'm
if
not
and
discrediting the
and,
Bible.
hold, and they say, oh well, just the Bible. No, you can actually find written records of like the tribe of Israel in several, like in the Babylons. What is it called? The Book of Kings and shit. Like, no, that's before. But shit like that, man. Like, you can actually find it.
Like lesbians.
That
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yo, Bitcoin, you want me to let you in, but you
Yo,
have to have your.
let me defend myself
Yeah,
against
I
this.
will let you. Hold on. I'm gonna put you in the back because you start yapping like a little chihuahua, and I want to kick you in your face. Listen, bro, you
So,
gotta make
so
sure that your sound is right, and I let you win, and you're not even respectful. Like you act like an animal, bro. Damn, man.
and going back, that's when I decided to like ask the link. I heard that, you know, before Jesus Christ, there were 17
16.
saviors crucified.
16. 16. With the
16,
same
yeah.
exact with the same exact story, 12 disciples,
Oh,
one of
oh,
a
okay.
virgin, and that can be traced all the way back to, I believe, Sumar
Well,
is the
well,
earliest
then again,
of that
well,
story.
let me, right. Well, then again, if you actually read the Bible, it tells you that, you know, Satan means you know, the adversary, you know, the devil, Lucifer, copies, you know, he copies, he
Oh, so he can
tries to copy. Hold on, hold on,
time
hold on.
traveled? Time
Yeah,
traveled? He
as a
No,
matter
copied
of
no,
he
fact,
copied even though
okay.
it predates it?
as a matter of fact, the devil.
Hold on,
Listen,
man.
listen, listen.
Delusional.
Hold
The
on, man.
devil,
Like, can you,
the devil knew
like,
God personally, so he could tell you more about God than we can. We can know by the Bible itself. So
yeah, so if okay, let's say this, right? As an example, okay, so you know when you watch a movie like Star Wars, like how the fuck did that guy like flew? Well, he's in fucking, you know, in the year 30,000 whatever. So you go into that scenario. Go into that scenario with the Bible, okay? Go. Go, like, try to understand it. And then if you once you try to understand it and you get in it, and then you everything unfolds. Like it's like you said,
I'm sure it
yeah,
does for
oh
you.
yeah, right, the debt, like I understand it, and then it becomes like faith, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hold on,
Exactly.
hold on.
Mhm.
It so the devil replicates God always, even like when Adam and Eve, you know, God promised Adam and Eve, you have eternal life, just don't eat out of this fruit. And they disobeyed and they ate the apple, you know, Satan deceived. And what did Satan promise to Adam and Eve? I will give you eternal life and you'll become like gods. Same thing. So the Satan keeps on replicating everything, man.
Yo, hold on. Yo, why doesn't
Like
God,
it's like, okay, like look, man, like
bro? Hey, yo, hey, bro, hey, hold on. Bro, it's
This
like,
guy.
hold on, like that. This wasn't the main topic, and I kind of let it go on. I thought you were gonna make a quick point, but yo, bro, Why doesn't God just beat the devil and just, or he likes to see people suffer, like it's fun.
Yo, my thing
Yeah,
on religion.
yeah. If you go by
My
the
thing.
stories of the Bible, it's like God is a lesser God, is imperfect, makes mistakes. If you do your research, so man,
God
in
is
my
God is
opinion,
kind of like God is kind of sick in the head if you think about it. He's like a
yeah,
psychopath.
yeah. Some people
Let
are
me tell
gonna
you
get
why.
triggered
Listen,
by that statement,
Hold
but
on, hold on, hold on, hold
you're
on, real
right.
quick. Sundown. Hold on, guys, because Sundown's been
Yo,
waiting patiently. Hold on, guys. Hold
Hey
on.
man, hey
I hear,
bro, hey, hold on, hey, hold on. Do
I
you
hear a
have
lot
a
of
pet?
noise.
Hold on. Do you have a pet?
Yes. No,
You
no, I
got a
don't have a
pet?
pet. No,
You
no,
got a
no,
pet?
no,
What do you
no,
have?
no, no. I don't
Hold
have
on.
a pet.
You don't own a dog, a cat, a
No,
fish.
do I have to? Do I have to? No, nigga. No, I just said no. No.
I'm
Well, have you?
divesting
Well,
from
have
this
you?
conversation.
Well,
Bro,
have
this is
you?
crazy.
Hold on. Let him speak. Let him speak. Go ahead. What's going
Well,
on?
have you?
I don't have a pet. I don't
Well,
have to
have
have
you
a pet.
owned one? Have you owned one? Have
Oh
you
yeah,
owned
in the
one?
past, yes. In the past, yes. In the past, yes. In the
Do
past,
they
yes.
understand? Do they understand what you understand?
No, because it's a dog.
Right,
No.
right. Well, our brain can comprehend his magnitude.
Well,
Understand
he's
that.
weird. No,
Understand that. This how they don't
wait,
understand
hold on. Wait,
how we're
hold
thinking.
on.
No, no,
Listen.
no, 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 no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no, no,
Just
no,
how
no,
they
no,
don't
no, no,
understand
no, no,
how
no,
we're.
no, 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 no. Hold on. You're not gonna overtalk me on my channel. We ain't doing that. Listen, how the hell? Listen, how the hell do you know that we can comprehend God? You don't even know him. You don't know him.
I'll just say this about
All right,
religion.
go ahead, Sundown.
You know, at one point in time, this is how primitive religion was. They
Right,
thought that on top of the clouds was heaven, which is
right.
where the story of the Tower of Babel came from.
Oh,
The
there that
Tower of
goes.
Babel was all humans came together and they said, we're going to build a tower that will lead us to heaven because they thought heaven was on top of the clouds. That's how primitive religion
no,
was
but
or Christianity was back in the day.
I agree,
no, no,
bro.
no. Listen,
Yeah, no. Hold on, Sundown.
spiritually,
Hold on. Wait. Hold on, John. Hold on, bro. Um, is that culturally Hispanic? Is John culturally Hispanic? Are you the hold on,
for me,
Jay? Yeah, are you culturally
yeah,
Hispanic?
I'm Dominican. I'm Dominican.
No. Sorry. No, there's a guy that uses the name culturally Hispanic. Do you also alternate your name with culturally Hispanic? Like the
No,
No, okay, okay. You have a similar voice to him. Hold on, real quick, bro. Sundown. Now, on regarding the topic of what is Lattes, are you knowledgeable on it at all?
Nah, yo, I actually just wanted to stop by and say I really enjoyed the stream
Yeah, the beginning was
because,
good,
like,
right? But then
yeah, because you were actually teaching something,
right.
Word.
and
Peace,
that's
I,
why
Sundown.
I hop in the streams is to learn.
damn,
Oh yeah,
Sundown.
hey, self. I
Right.
told my
Thank
I
you for
told
that,
my
bro. Thank you
dad.
for that.
You told
Oh,
you
no
told
problem.
you told your
I
pops?
told my dad that you knew about the Lumbies chasing the KKK into the pond. He was like, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yo, bro, I keep my ear to the ground, bro. I know what's going on in India, son.
Yo, it's crazy. You
Yo, but
shocked me when you told me about that.
I actually got some history in North Carolina, and I wasn't too far.
Ah,
Yeah, so I actually rubbed elbows with a lot of lumbies, and I ain't going front.
yeah,
I got off to a bad start with them. I used to call them $5 Indians. I'm not going front with you, bro. I used to be like, "I bunch of $5 Indians," but as I grew with them and I kind of mingled with them, I learned to appreciate, what I'm saying, what they were bringing to the table. And then once I learned that history, I was like, "Oh shit, they down with
yeah,
the cause." You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, that's peace though,
yeah.
bro.
That's their biggest claim to fame. It's two stories. One is they think that they're the tribe that absorbed the lost tribe or the lost colony back in
Yeah,
Virginia,
yeah,
and them chasing the KKK into the Hayes Pond. Had the
yeah.
police come and get them out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was some powerful history right there. Yo, so you was
Yeah,
around
it's
you
crazy.
you was around for the beginning, so you caught wind of what we was building on as far as like the history of the flag of Lattes and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Um, somebody I don't know if it was Jay that was talking about it. You said something about the U.S. keeping people dependent, countries dependent. I don't know. I think it was Jay, the dude with the J.
That the country was what?
No, you said something like the U.S. keeps countries dependent on it to where
Well,
they
yeah,
can't really sustain them.
the United States wanted to take over the entire Caribbean. It went from they got PR. They tried to invade Dominican Republic, and they want to do the same with Cuba. But it's on neoliberalism and trying to force these countries to adapt these policies through debt and through neoliberalism.
I believe
Yeah,
they've
no,
been
I was
successful in
gonna
that.
say I agree with you
Yeah.
because they do the same thing. They're doing the same thing in like Afghanistan and Iraq, and they're even making their way out to like East Africa, to where they're the main source of income or they're the life vein to some of these countries, and they get in there to the point where the countries don't want them to leave because if they leave, they're in fear of crumbling. So
Yeah.
they stay dependent on the U.S., and that's why the U.S. stays there. Why
All
we have
empires
so
do that
many
though.
bases in so many places.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
empires do that though.
it's the typical story of the
Imperialism.
boyfriend getting the girl hooked on crack. The drug dealer has a little girlfriend. She's hooked on crack now. She keeps coming back. She's not gonna leave him alone. That's basically what it is.
Yeah,
They do it through the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. They go and they just, you know, rob them of
Oh,
their
that
resources and stick the people with the bill. That's why I say I believe that they were successful in their endeavors. That's why I say none of these neo colonies are independent like they say they are, because nothing goes down without Big Brother saying it can go down at any
other than
given time,
Cuba.
other than Cuba and Venezuela. And but like we said, they paid the price for it. That's why they're
Yep.
yeah,
driving cars in 1968. They're suffering hyperinflation. They're suffering from a lot of things. But that's a conscious effort from a conglomerate of people who say, "Nah, we're not going to do business with them," and that's what stagnates them. But every other country is pretty much under that regime. Because economic, you have different forms of warfare. People, when they think of warfare, they always think about the hand-to-hand combat. You got mental warfare, you got economic warfare, you got social war, you got all kinds of warfare, and people are fighting a war on a different front. That's why I look at these people who get out here with all these M16s and they think they doing. That's silly. The war is not even being fought like that no more. The war is being fought in your mind. So you can't even take it there unless you free your mind first.
Yeah, the
yeah.
war's being
You
fought
could
on
look at it
through the
look at it
media.
this way. Yeah, look at it this way. What is China doing that's so different than what the U.S. is doing? Look at how many bases that the U.S. has all over the world.
Yeah. And
China is doing it from an economic standpoint, though. They're going into countries and they're putting countries so far in debt that they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's why I laugh when they say they're communists because they engage in capitalistic enterprises so much and they're pretty good at it. You know, I mean, their society may be communist based, but the way that they maneuver that's why it really don't fucking matter because the whole world is getting down like this. Everybody has,
Yeah,
a monetary system. Everybody has, their purchasing power scaled with GDP, so on and so forth. So everybody's playing the game. Everybody's playing the game. Even in our home countries, we can sit here and be like, yo, it's fucked up. We're getting the shit under the stick. But everybody in the position of power in those countries are taking that deal and sticking us with the bill. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people have this romantic look on like socialism, communism, and like they don't truly understand what the true nature
They don't
of
grasp it.
some of that stuff is. Yeah,
There's actually a
there's
video, if I'm not mistaken, Sundown. I think it was Fox News. They had someone at the border, and there was a Venezuelan family, and the guy's talking about, they're asking him questions, and he's like, "Yo, I got my kid with me, and our life, we packed our life up into a book bag," and he's like, "All you Americans, they got these little backpacks on, whatever, with whatever they could take from Venezuela, I think it was. Yeah, it's Venezuela, and he's like, all you Americans that that want socialism, go live down there first."
yeah,
Yeah, I personally don't necessarily demonize socialism or I'm not any of those things. I actually put it on the same scale as capitalism, because I believe all of it sounds good on paper, but it's never truly been executed properly. Capitalism too, like we believe that we have a free market enterprise in this country, which is not true. We have a form of crony capitalism where you
Yeah,
have conglomerates of people
who pick
behind
the
closed
winners and
doors.
losers. Yeah,
They behind closed doors, they do their deals, and then they have monopolies, which are
Yeah.
illegal, in a free market enterprise. And you can also look at the scale of fascism that we have in this country, because fascism is defined as the merging of corporation and state. So, insurance for your car, that's a form of fascism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you are forced by your government to do business with a private entity. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at, like, the fundamentals of free market capitalism, free market enterprise capitalism, we're not even practicing that in this country. You know what I'm saying? That's why I
Yo,
say
do
it
you
all sounds good on paper, all of it, even communism and socialism, but it's never executed properly.
And
do,
also,
do you know
really,
what Americans' culture is? It's two things. Two things that are American culture. Do you know what that is? Self-styles?
capitalism and consumerism.
I was
But
gonna say television and food.
War, war and
Close.
I mean,
incarceration.
Close, Jay.
I don't know, bro.
Consumerism.
Close.
Consumerism is up there. Consumerism.
Close. You're
Well,
close.
War,
it's
war
so
and
much.
incarceration.
It's capitalism and war. We've been at war for 225 years
Oh yeah,
since the nation's inception.
that's a money maker. That's a money maker.
Yeah,
There's a book.
that's our
Yeah,
moneymaker.
Yeah,
for a few small group of people, it's big money maker,
But
yes, but at the
but
expense of how
at,
many thousands of lives?
yeah, but
at the
but no, and
at the
I agree with you 100%. But what he's referring to is the military industrial complex and how it's kind of been infused in our system. So it's like
Ding, 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 ding,
it
ding.
generates like without that our whole system will crash. That's why I was saying what the man
Exactly.
was saying earlier when he was talking about he don't want the dollar to fail. And I'm like, yo, I understand that sentiment because I live in this society too. But what we do have to understand is that bombs got to go over Baghdad in order for us to have our Tesla. Meaning that there's a
hold
price
on.
to come with our purchasing power, and we
To
can't
an ex,
neglect that.
to
If
an
not,
extent, I
huh?
agree, but I think we don't. I don't think we need to have to go to war just to maintain the dollar, but we do. I think for more than just the reason of maintaining the dollar, but the reason why we make so much money that in reality we could all be good and well, but at the end of the day, it's greed. It's greed. Like the
Exactly.
money that we make, everybody in America could be living the American dream, but it's greed. We're
And
not
that's
the
why
money that
communism will never work.
these companies, the amount of money they have made over the years, they have increased like 3,000%. But the thing is, the wages that they pay out to the individual has remained the same or gotten lower. So we make look at the trillions of dollars we printed out just for these relief bills. What other country in the world says, yo, we're gonna spend 10 trillion with a T, my nigga? 10 trillion, 20 trillion. We just printing money and giving it to people. The amount of money that these
Yeah.
corporations and companies make, we could all be very well off, but it's greed.
Yo,
It's just
yo,
greed.
bro, you know what's crazy? I remember this. Was it the last time I went to? It was the last time I went to Vegas. So this was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, actually. So last time I was in Vegas, I saw we were in the parking lot waiting, and then they have like this a scroll thing, like a ticker, and it's saying the national debt, right? And it was just growing and growing, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I saw that, and I was like, yo, like, is there such thing as this debt thing, or are they just pulling the wool over niggas' eyes? Like,
You can't like
It's just a
communism.
wool. It's
Communism
just
will
a
never
wool
work.
over your eye. Because the
Yeah.
America, we could just print all the fucking money we want, and the reason why it doesn't inflate as much is because we export this money to other countries, and we force these countries to use it for the petrodollar to buy the dollars with. That's the trick to the inflation. The trick, the way we could print out so much money and it not inflate as much is because the inflation, all these dollars we printed out, okay, we're gonna export it to this country, because they
But it
needed to buy oil in the
it
dollars.
also it
Think
But
of
some
how
also
much
goes
countries,
to
money they burn.
favors. It goes to favors also because if I was to give Sundown 10 trillion for his country, right? Or and I'm gonna tell him, well, listen, here's this money under the table. Don't come collecting for what we really owe you. You know what I mean? They work crazy deals like that too.
Yeah.
That's why nobody's
It's more
really
like
cashed in
communism.
except the Chinese. Like the Chinese, they're
Yeah.
buying. They bought up most of New York. Like they own the Brooklyn Navy Yard. They own so much stuff around this country that people don't even realize it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this is
it's like
a
with
lot of shit.
communism will never work because communism, uh, like
the good.
you need
The good thing
capitalism.
about the good thing about communism, it forces it allows the government to say, you know what, we have this plan. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it going, no matter what. At the end of the day, we're gonna be successful one way or another. That's what China does. China's taking
But
over the
how can
world.
you be
And
successful? How can you be
well,
successful
let me,
without capitalism? You have to make money, right? With
of
communism,
course,
everybody's
Exactly.
on an
of
even
course,
playing field.
of course. I mean, China's communist, but it is still capitalist. It's still making money. I mean, but what I mean about the capitalism system, I don't even mean the economic side of it. I mean, it's the government side. It's like we're gonna
Okay, okay.
regulate. We're gonna put this order. We're gonna put it in order, and we're gonna make sure everybody follows this law and order. And if we follow this system long enough, we're gonna take over everything. And that's what communism allows. It's structure and order
Yeah,
and
No, but
enforce.
yeah.
communism is a snake eating its own tail at the end of the day, right? It's not sufficient. That's why what they do is, you have these quote unquote capitalist societies, and what do? They usher in socialism. Oh, free healthcare, free this, free that. Everything is free, and then everybody's happy with it, and then it turns into communism, and then it eventually crumbles. That's basically
And
how it goes.
everybody bites at it because it's free.
Yeah,
But
They hear the
capitalism
word free.
they
capitalism has
need
the
the
same trend though.
capitalist they need the
Cap
capitalist infrastructure. They
cap
need
well
they hijack the infrastructure, and then it just goes downhill.
capitalism within itself, it has the same byproducts. Because I mean,
Yeah,
if you look at the monetary system, money is debt. If you take every single dollar out of circulation in the United States, we won't have not one single dollar to trade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said before, it's a house of cards. It's a bubble that eventually has to pop. That's why they always inflate it. And every time you
yeah.
inflate it, it devalues your dollar. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
it
And
always, yeah.
this is why we lost so much
yeah,
purchasing power from the 30s to now, or not even from the 70s to now. It's rapidly going. We're rapidly losing our purchasing power
I
because we
need
because
keep
that's what
to.
inflating it.
happened when the
And
Wall Street crashed. The crash back in
it's
the
always,
20s when
yeah.
you had the Great
I
Depression.
asked how Niso to hop in. I asked. All
It's always gonna,
right, my bad. My
it's
bad.
It's
always
G.
gonna
like so.
go. It's oh my
Go
bad.
ahead, my bad.
It's always gonna go to greed and power. So right, the government, if it's communist, okay, the government is gonna be in power. If it's capitalism, the way we have it, is gonna be the multi-billion corporations that eventually they buy government. They buy government through special interest groups,
Mm-hmm.
passing
Mm-hmm.
They
laws
already have.
to
That's what they're doing
exactly,
now.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Either way, it's gonna go down to power and greed, whether it's the government or whether it's the government in bed with multinational corporations and banks. It's always going to be money, greed, and power, whether it's the government or whether it's the government and the corporations, or
Well,
whether it's
You know
people
what
we
I
don't
would
ever know,
change?
or whether it's people we don't even know about and will never know about. You know what I'm saying? So
Do you want to know what I would change if I had power?
What's
I
that?
would change congressmen's terms, like their how many terms they could serve. They could only serve 1 or 2 terms, just like the presidents do. So that way you get new blood in. Because what happens is you have these politicians that's been in Congress for 40 years, 50 years, and they're so embedded with all of these other congressmen that everything is locked.
and
Okay,
it's
you
a
want to
game.
start yeah, it's like
It's
chess.
well,
a game. You
the
got to
vote, the
keep people
vote,
poor.
the
You got to
the
keep people working. You got to keep people in debt.
the
Because
vote total for that
Yeah,
sundown it would be a 70-30 split, because you would only have, because bro, you already know the deal. There's about roughly 30% of these government officials are real life American patriots, and the other 70% are bought off.
oh yeah,
So that
oh
would be
yeah,
such a hard thing to get done, because there's not enough. 70% of them are bought and paid for,
oh yeah, oh
which
yeah,
is a
definitely.
sad thing. But definitely, like he said, if this is gonna crash, and like Donald Trump said when he was president, you know, God bless the orange man. But like he said when he was president, if the market is going to crash, let it crash so we can get out of it.
But
And
like the
people
perfect
don't understand that.
Yeah, the perfect example would be the too big to fail banks. Like these businesses, this money and the greed, that was like, okay, we're so big that this country depends on us and our money. We're gonna make the government say, you know what? They messed up legally. They did a whole bunch of illegal shit. They fucking up the whole country. But you know what? They are the money. We're gonna bail them out. We're gonna give them money, and we're just gonna keep it going like nothing ever happened. And that's what. And there's gonna be capitalism, the money in power with the government, and they're gonna buy the laws in their favor, or it's gonna be all out communism taking control of the money
Yeah.
to one extent. Because at least China got control of its money. They
Yeah.
landed the money. Yo, actually, as a matter of fact, look at it. China is communism in control of capitalism, because they're doing the same thing America and multinational governments and corporations has done, and the World Bank, but they're doing it by themselves in control of their own money. They don't know it to
Yeah.
anybody else. They're taking all over Africa, Caribbean. They haven't gotten DR, but they got
Well,
in all over the world.
they have a
No,
central
look, I
bank,
was
so it
in
all
East
falls under
Africa.
the same umbrella.
Yeah.
If they have a
No,
central
I
bank,
was in East Africa and I got to see that firsthand.
Yeah,
Like
but
China
China,
is
China,
is
China
big
owns
out
their
there.
own capitalism. It's like Chinese capitalism.
Because the thing is, the two things that separate, or the biggest divide between capitalism and communism is, so in the eyes of communism, the people, everybody is even, everybody gets paid the same. But with capitalism, it's the big companies and the people that come up with the ideas, they're the ones that make all the money. And since the lower end people didn't come up with the ideas, they're the ones that have to suffer in a sense. So the rich are the, I know you've heard the term, the rich get richer, poor get poorer. But with China, they kind of cracked the code because they got communism and they got capitalism.
Yeah, my sentiment is simply I believe every single one of these institutions all served its purpose. It's gonna sound fucked up, but it's simply how I see it. I believe, monarchies they served their purpose in their time in history. Feudalism, chattel slavery, it all served its purpose for its time. And I just feel like we're at a crossroads as a species where we're outgrowing capitalism and all these old systems, and we're ushering into something else. I believe we're outgrowing this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's only but so much we're gonna be able to inflate this shit for so long. We got to figure out a new way of doing
yeah,
things.
let the bubble burst and let's figure out what we got to do. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised people aren't investing in like physical silver. You know,
Yeah, I
with the
think I
price, it's
think
like
even
Intelligent people
27 an
are.
ounce.
Yeah,
I think
smart people are. People who got the
I,
resources to do so.
But here's
yeah.
the thing: the people are so you got so many sheep out there that they're just content to go on and let things run its course the way that it is now. Like they know what they have to do to at least start the gears to make a change. But just like you said, with that 70 to 30, even if you came out overnight and said, "Hey, look, we need X amount of votes, and we'll be able to limit congressman terms to 1 or 2 terms," it would be people that wouldn't even vote because they would say, "Well, my vote doesn't count," even if you explained it to them, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
but I think since January 20th, a lot of people are waking up to see the dumpster fire that this place has turned into since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people are becoming more conscious of economics and what's going on around the world. You're absolutely right about that, and that's why I feel like we are, as a collectiveness, as a species, we are ushering into something else. And the cryptocurrency, all these things, I think all plays a part in where we're going.
Yeah,
The
I
new
think for this
this
country
YouTube
to
thing
be I think
is a
for
new
this
form of
country to be
communication.
successful, like moving forward, you know, I think in the 2022 election sundown, I think it's going to be a huge upset for the blue side because
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing a lot more just regular average Joe type people like people like us that are running for those positions, and that's where there's a possibility that 70-30 might end up 60-40 the other way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, people are definitely waking up. I think this election has something to do with it.
Oh yeah,
Starting to see how deep the rabbit hole goes as far as who controls what. And it was like, wow, I would have never believed it, but like it maybe this election could spark the right change.
Listen,
I'm
Personally,
hoping so.
listen, guys. Listen, this is. I like this conversation. It's a good conversation. Yo, can y'all hear me good? What the fuck?
Yeah, you
All right.
got you
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
Okay.
But listen, man, it's getting late, and I said I didn't want to drag this on too long because I do this opportunity for me tomorrow. I got to wake up early.
Oh,
But
fighter, you gonna let your buddy Chivo on? That Chivo dude is here. Can
I mean,
we?
I don't think that's the real Chivo, but I'm gonna drop the link. Um,
Oh
I don't think
snap!
that's the real. But
That's him. He coming
Hen,
for you.
I don't.
Yo,
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 Henry, what's up, man? Yeah, I
okay,
just want
what's
I
up?
wanted Henry just to share his thoughts, and then everyone else share their last thoughts.
No, I jumped in late. I was hearing the panel talk
Right.
about communism. Communism is, in my opinion, inherently evil.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
We're not equal. We're not. We're in the sense of Kant talks about it with universality and then there was so communism is bad. Capitalism. When you basically put in, let's say, a policy like Obamacare, right, where now, depending on the state I'm living in, I'm responsible for someone who doesn't take care of the health, and you have to pay something and higher taxes. That's an element of socialism. It's what they call what is it? What is it? Limousine socialist. So basically, if it was done in the proper context of capitalism, say like the model they have in Singapore or in Switzerland, healthcare would actually be much more cheaper than what it is per person, and a lot more can be accomplished, I think, if it was decentralized. I mean, it's good that it's left up to the states, but the states like Cuomo or Governor Newsom in California,
Hey! You watch it about Governor Cuomo. I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. Cuomo-sexuals are a protected class. Okay.
He opened up. What is it? 70% of New York is vaccinated. I heard.
It's beyond ridiculous.
Damn.
It is beyond ridiculous.
They got y'all. Fuck.
Yo, I hear people.
Crazy
I hear
today.
people be
What's
dying
crazy
from
today?
that shit.
Today when I was jogging and I'm like, and I was listening to something like when I was jogging, and it was saying how everything is like no more masks. So all of a sudden it's like no one's scared anymore. I'm like, yo, y'all were like just terrified a year ago, petrified, and now it's like it's all good, man. Like it's weird to me. It's just weird to me, you know.
You know what's funny about the masks? A year ago in January, I was visiting one of my boys in college, so I went back, and he had came back from China. He was in Hong Kong, and they were having the protesters, right?
Yeah.
And he was sending me these videos during Thanksgiving break of just people in China dropping dead on the street, right? And you probably saw the the videos.
I remember that. I remember that. Like I'm like, oh man, I was like thinking in my head, I'm so glad I'm in America, man. Shit like that don't happen over here. Then COVID came worldwide.
But
bro, I was telling people about that in November. This shit happened in what? When did this imaginary thing happen? I was telling people the November before that happened, and people that I was in class with thought I was a nut job.
Yeah, it was this. He was from Hong Kong, and so Hong Kong was having this protest. The Muslim Chinese were getting thrown in camps.
The Uyghurs.
And Trump, the Uyghurs, and Trump was going to transition into phase 2 of the China trade deal. So China was the Communist Party was under, pressure that that might be it if Trump wins re-election and the U.S. supports Taiwan and the semiconductor industry and sets up a Navy there, and then Hong Kong and all that. China was going to collapse. So my boy comes back from Thanksgiving break, and he was like, yeah, Henry, the video is crazy. People die street. Hong Kong, now protests stop, every hospital flooded. It's packed, right? And I'm like, why is that? Like, I don't know. It wasn't a tear gas. It was just like that all the hospitals just flooded out of nowhere. And that was the start of the virus, right? So, I didn't see anyone drop dead on the street like I saw in the videos. Did any of y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw they were videos of like this one Chinese dude walking and
did
he
you
just
see that
passes
here?
out.
Yeah, those are the first videos I saw coming out of China, but I never seen anyone drop dead on the street here in
I seen a few in Flushing. There was like a video or two in Flushing, Queens, because it's a large Asian community over there.
Oh yeah.
And there was like one or two videos where they were like, "Oh, the people are passing out. It's Corona. It's Corona." You know how the internet is. But here's the funny thing is that when we were forced into lockdown out in China, they were having concerts. They were having open air concerts, right? Where people gathered at a concert, listening to the chinos on stage sing, and none of them in the crowd had on masks. And then people would look at me. People would look at me like I was crazy when I was pointing out, look, the dancing chinos. The chinos on stage, the chinos in the crowd. Nobody's wearing a mask. Why are you wearing a mask? But God forbid, Governor Cuomo knows everything. How dare you go against Governor Nipple Clamps?
If there's something, I think if there's something we've learned from all of this coronavirus is that don't underestimate how dumb people can be, and the elite know this. Like, you just tell somebody a story, and they'll just buy into it. The people fighting people, almost killing somebody because they don't wear a mask. Because they believe in this fake virus.
Jay, did you hear about the guy in Atlanta?
Yo, guys. Guys, what about this for a mask? Look, what about this for a mask? Look.
Bitch party, you cannot get in. I can take your man, pass him to my friends. I can shake your hand. No, I'm not your friend. It's a bad bitch party, you cannot get in. I can take your man.
What about that for?
That is sorcery. That is sorcery right there.
That's not the same person, is it?
That's sorcery, bro.
It's a bad bitch party, you cannot get in. I can take your man, pass him to my friends. I can shake your hand. No, I'm not your friend. I don't fuck with bitches. I just want some bitch.
That's black magic.
Now you gotta be worried with the transvestites.
That's black magic.
You gotta worry about if it's even a female. Now you gotta worry about the females, even who she really look like. This shit is crazy out here in these streets.
Yeah.
But
listen, guys.
I wanted. Oh.
Yeah, manito, because I got some shit I gotta look up early. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's an interesting convo, but man, I gotta be up like at 6, man.
But real quick, before you end it, Fighter, I just want to let everybody know who was a doubter of the Orange Man. Everything that man said during this quote unquote pandemic, during this scamdemic, he was right about.
Pandemic.
Yeah, he was right about the hydroxychloroquine. He was right about just about everything that he was saying about this.
And they try to make fun of him, saying, "Oh, it's a drink chloride." Like, come on, bro. But Henry. So, before we leave Henry, because we haven't heard from you, what is your opinion on the whole Lares? El Grito de Lares. What is your opinion on it? Anything you wanna, give a quick summary? Because I do want to end this, but just any. 2 cents real quick.
I didn't necessarily had an opinion. When I was listening in, I was just listening into the conversation about communism and voting. So,
okay, got you. But just as the topic of a lot is like, what do you think? What's your opinion on that historic event?
On the
El Grito de Lares, yeah.
I don't have an opinion on it to really speak
all right.
in the myths and the theology, but
Got you.
That's a good topic. That's a good question. I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to the first
Yeah,
part
so
of the stream.
Right, like the first hour is good, is productive, and then it got messy. But
But
yeah,
what was the consensus? What did long story short? What was it?
oh,
What was
now
his
that
opinions
well,
on
that one, that once
Grito de
upon a
Lares?
time, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Venezuelans and they all had this brotherhood, and they all were battling for their own nation, and that this is a new concept of this, like, that little semi beef, the little tribalism. That at one point, they all were they were trying to work in unison to help each other out for common purpose, common goals.
Okay, Caribbean
And
Confederation.
right, correct. And they also that we were touching on the history of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, according to I've only looked at it from Dominican historians under the Spanish Empire, but it was incredible how much migration was happening between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic in the early 1800s.
Right.
And a lot of Puerto Ricans went to DR. A lot of Dominican elites, like the white, that fled to Venezuela or to Puerto Rico. So that definitely that was it, and wanted to form that, but they also wanted to form their own countries because they were seeing that example when the empire collapsed, the Spanish Empire collapsed. So yeah,
hey, man. Yeah, but listen, hey, Henry, thank you, man. I'm kind of sad you came in kind of late, but
I was running the stream, Klaus and I.
Right. But hey, listen, yo, hey, this was all right. This was all right. Like all right stream. It got a little messy here and there, but it was all right stream. But I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to thank my panelists. I want to thank Styles for being, my co-host, and I want to thank for all the donations. And I'm gonna be going live tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be a little raunchy. Okay. So tomorrow, everybody, you could curse, you could scream, you could threaten people to go meet them up. You could do whatever you want tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna get crazy. But today I just wanted it to be semi-civil. Okay.
What time tomorrow?
10 o'clock.
Well, whatever. Look. Whatever hour fighter says, add 3 hours on to that.
Nah. This time it's really no. You know what? I'm gonna actually go live like at 9:30. So, because then I'm gonna have to wait for my guest for tomorrow. And yeah, he's a Nicaraguan. Right. That's my guest tomorrow.
Oh, he's a Nicaraguan.
Yeah, Nicaraguan. Yeah.
All right. Well, my final thought. My final thought is that the Cheeto in chief shall return. Trump 2024.
Cheeto chief. Okay.
And gingers are evil. They are of the fallen one.
Wait, yo, bro, but I thought you can't do that. I thought if you were president, I always thought that growing up, that if you were president, you can't come back and be president again. I always thought
two terms. Not non-consecutive. You can come back. We had president.
You can have one, lose, and then come back, and you could do two, or you can come back every other if possible. But if it's
I didn't know that, because I know it happens in DR, like Leonel Fernandez.
Yeah, but that was an exception because they changed the constitution in 2000.
Yeah, the only person that served more than 2 terms was FDR.
Yeah,
the only president in history, I believe. That was because of World War II.
We need Trump back, man. We need Trump. Who thinks this?
I don't know. I got DeSantis. Reason being that if
that's
Trump
the Florida governor.
Governor of Florida. Reason being that if Trump can't run with Mike Pence, it would just be weird to run with Trump and DeSantis ticket. I don't
No,
know.
guys,
Doesn't add
no,
up to
no, no,
me.
no.
So
This is how this
what
is
do you
gonna
think
go.
is gonna happen with this COVID shit and this vaccine? What you think is gonna happen? Is it gonna be over, or we're gonna have to get you
Hey, look,
vaccinated?
listen.
If
Y'all
Big
Hey
keep
Papa
getting
guys,
Trump,
pumped
guys, hey
about the
guys, I
vaccine.
gotta end it, guys. I gotta end
Uh,
it. Well, yo,
real
but
quick,
yo,
I can
DeSantis,
carry over the stream on Klaus's channel if anyone is interested.
real
But
quick.
yeah, I could do that. Yo,
If
but yo,
Big,
hey, you ever notice that the DeSantis, he's definitely Italian. You see that dude's hands? He got them big, fat, chubby fingers and shit. That dude's
here,
definitely
Freda,
Italian.
here's what's gonna
Yeah,
happen. If
but,
Big Papa Trump is too old to run in
yeah,
2024 and
yeah.
he can't do it for whatever reason, health or whatever the case may be,
Bring him back. Bring him. Yo, I'm about to get a MAGA hat, yo.
if
Yo,
he doesn't run in
Transportation,
2024, the nominee is gonna
yeah.
be Ron DeSantis. He's gonna run for president. Now,
yeah.
if Big Papa Trump comes back in 2024 for that
Donald
election,
Trump.
it's
But it's
not
going to
gonna
be
be
contingent.
DeSantis. His
It's going to be
running mate
contingent
is,
on the midterms. I think Republicans are gonna win the House next year.
his running mate, mark my words, is gonna be General Michael Flynn. That's gonna be his vice president.
Yo, guys, yo, listen,
all right,
man.
all
Yo,
right,
hey, listen,
all right.
yo, guys, I gotta wake up, man, soon, man. All right, so, hey, guys, thank you everyone for joining. I'll tune in tomorrow for my Nicaraguan buddy who's gonna be live and we're gonna be talking smack. So, hey, guys, thank you for the donations, thank you for the likes, thank you for your opinions, and yo, peace out to everyone. Stay dangerous.
And don't stare gingers dead in the eye. They're soulless. They'll steal your soul. Have a good night, everybody.
All right,
Yeah,
peace
I'll
out.
holler
Peace,
at y'all
Danny.
tomorrow.
All right, yup. Peace, Danny. Peace.
Peace.